Hello. I can't hear you, dude.
I was having to switch computers to unmute you and unmute myself is not easy to do. But hey, we got it now, so we're good.
Dude, you're the master. What are those guys called that are in the booth?
I need to get
TV,
honestly, what I need to do
TV booth.
after I hooked up the Ableton controller, it made me realize honestly, I do need a video. I need to get a Steam Deck or something, whatever. A Stream Deck, not a Steam Deck. That's the handheld controller. I need a Stream Deck to because that's just, I don't know. They're cool. And they're useful for other things too. But the thing is if I'm plugging it up to this computer, this isn't whatever. But that's another thing. But yeah, hey.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Don't Talk Over Me Show.
Yeah.
It's episode 2.
And this time you can hear all of us.
You can hear everybody right from the jump.
If anybody is
for old
there,
time's sake, go ahead and mute me for 15 minutes. Put me in a 15-minute.
Yeah. Just got to be consistent.
Yeah.
But is everybody excited for the show?
For the today?
They sound a little happy.
Woo!
Maybe I think we're doing better.
Sound like they just hit a dip in a roller coaster.
Hooray! Well, everybody, update for anybody that's watching live. We do have our I think chats are on screen now, maybe. So
yeah, if you're a chatter in the chat, you're here with us. You're on the show.
So I guess it's been a week. It's been a whole week.
It's been a week.
We're on number 2 weeks in a row. This time with mics on. So we're giving y'all a little bit extra every single time.
A little bit more every time.
Got to keep the expectations low. But
so we can slowly build it up bit by bit.
Yeah, hopefully
more productions.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get all the kinks worked out soon, but that's just how it goes, You got to try it out, test it out before you know if it's broken.
Ride the bike before you can do a wheelie, man. You got to ride, You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Well, daggone, Icky, how's your week been?
It's been good, just crazy. It's been busy.
Busy week.
Work's been working.
Work's chugging along.
Yeah, everything's been, yeah.
Yeah. Well, crowd, I broke my thumb this week. Look at that. Oh no. I suck. I know, I'm the worst.
But yeah. That sucks.
That's like my only week update. That's just been my whole thing.
I have not done that.
I've never broken a finger. Have you ever broken a bone?
No.
Whoa.
Knock on. All my tables are plastic. I don't have
all my
wood.
Start
knocking on the door.
Oh, knock on wood.
Yeah.
I was about to say plastic tables can't break bones. That's what they always say. Never broke a bone. All my tables are plastic. What can I say?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, I've been wanting to get a new table though. I'm still in the process of figuring.
I've been wanting to break them.
I'm not gonna lie. I just then thinking about that, I started I grabbed the end of the table and squeezed it, and I could literally I could
squish.
Yeah,
squish
yeah. It's and I have well over the weight limit. I checked it up. It's 100 pounds. There's no way that I'm not hitting that with my speakers, 3 monitors, Ableton push. Yeah, there's no way that this isn't at least close. And it's either way, it's not even for a plastic folding table. It's not even a good one. So that's
nice.
But hey, I say that I gotta start being nice.
The show just goes.
Yeah, my teeth. Everything breaks. Camera on it. I got a new camera on it too. That's just. I would be. Yeah. I need it. I gotta get it. You gotta buy. a table that respects the stuff that's going to be on it.
That's true. That's what
That
they
is-
always. That's
that
what they
is-
always say. Your table's got your.
It's usually the things that you forget about.
The things on the table got to respect the table. That's what they always say.
Yeah, and
The
what? No, it's the opposite. The table's got to respect the stuff on it. Or
the
no?
things.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, because the table's got to be able to hold it.
Oh. Yeah, but if you put
I just-
a disrespectful amount of things on the table will break.
Yeah.
Is what that was my thinking.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just
Whatever.
Kidding. I'm just kidding. But no, I would like.
just making up
I really do
old
think
man
I'm gonna
sayings.
try to get a table. I know this is what we're all here to talk about is my table.
Tables. And,
But
I'm trying to
for
build a
real
table.
though, I do think I'm very invested in the idea of I need to get a new table. I just haven't done
You've been
it.
talking about it for a long time.
Yeah, I talk about it. I just haven't done it.
Yeah, Crowd. He talks about it.
I look up
Constantly.
stuff online. I mean, I'll be a window shopper through my phone, but the second it's
Yeah.
like hop in the truck and
Time to
drive
do
to
it.
a thrift store or a store of any kind and try to find something to buy and throw it in it, it's like,
Window shopping can be kind of good. It can kind of like scratch the itch. Of,
that's why I do
I
it.
want to
And,
buy
and you
something,
can
but I
check
don't
just
wanna
about
spend money.
Yeah, and
go
every
look at it
store
for a
is like
while.
can show their inventory online in your area, and sometimes it's not always accurate, but it's close enough. It's like I
Yeah.
would rather. I'm not about to drive down there to check if it's online. It says it's not in my store. Like I'd rather
Yeah.
order it online and have it shipped there and pick it up or something more before I do that.
Dude, that used to be the fun thing to do. You used to just be like, "Are they gonna have it?"
Yeah,
I don't know,
and you
but there's
just
only one
wasted,
way to
like-
find out. So you just drive 20 minutes to be like, "Do they have it?" I used to like, because I used to like.
I mean, it's fun though. It is
get
fun.
a lot
Like,
of I used to get a lot of like action figures when I was little, and like you'd get some right, but then you'd look at the back and they'd be like, "Well, you want to buy these too, though?" And you go, "Yeah." So you're like you're just like gotta go to Walmart to see if they got the Batman model that I want, and then you just go there and like rummage through them all, try to find like a R2-D2 and all the Star Wars toys. And then you don't
Dude.
find it, and you just go home, and then you just try again next week, and you're just like, I gotta get this thing. It's like obsession.
yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I just haven't pulled the trigger on anything. I'm worried about buying anything online and getting it shipped. Part of me's like that would be cool because I wouldn't have to, I didn't have to deal with getting it to my house. It just show up and I put it together. But it's also like you don't really know what you're getting. Really,
Yeah.
sometimes you got to be
Well, they say
careful
all
of
the-
that.
All
It'll
the wood
look
now
like
is like
great,
not real
like-
wood. It's not real wood. It's like just a
Yeah.
bunch of cardboard smushed together to look like wood.
Like I saw, if I wouldn't have read the reviews, I saw this one. I was like, dude, this is perfect. It was huge. It was like 40 feet like deep. So it was like, it's
Yeah.
kind of big, but I was like, man, that my speakers can sit in the back. My monitors, I'd have more table space because I want my like playing keyboard right up under me to where I could put this camera on it. So when I'm like playing the keyboard, you can see me. Like
yeah, you
writing
need like one of
songs.
those. I've seen people with desks that have that. It has like a whole keyboard. There's like some desks have the computer keyboard slide out thing. And then there's
Yeah.
some that have like a whole music keyboard can slide
Well,
out.
see, my only problem with that is I usually I probably wouldn't like the height of it. I want it like the right height.
Well, you should also get one that's. I've seen people, dude. Some people.
I just want a
setups are so
big
crazy.
flat piece of wood, like giant, like
Yeah.
bigger than 30 inches, because that's what I got. Like I want it like huge. Like I want a kitchen
Yeah.
table, and I want to have
A
just so
dining
much
room table.
table space. Like I want to have a lot. Like I just need a lot of like open space and like the.
We've talked about this
The
before.
problem
and
is
you
my
should,
speakers
you should set
take
up
up
your
so
stream.
much.
You
And
should
I
get like a
could- I
really
thought about-
long.
Oh, we're
dining
doing
room
it, dude.
table.
The namesake.
It's the name of the show.
I'm like, no, listen to me. I'm talking.
No, listen. You got to get a big dining room table and put your computer and camera at the other end and stream really far away.
Oh,
like
this
you're
look
some
like I'm like in a
evil rich
boardroom.
man. Yeah, or like no, like you're at the end of a dining hall, like
Yeah.
and you're like a super in a mansion. It's like
Dude.
comically far away with the guests, and like have an eating stream where you're just eating food.
Yeah.
They're just like on
Just
the
throw like
just
try
way
to
on the
throw
other end.
food at the other. Woo.
That'd be
But-
fun.
No,
That'd be
it
a
would.
silly stream.
Dude, I don't know, man. There's all kinds of cool ideas. I just need more space. But yeah, I do want to get. Nah, you can get around that. You just got to give up the idea of having a living room. You have a sleep room and you have a studio.
Get one of those. Get one of those. They had it in like Parks and Recreation. It's like the circle desk. Where
no,
it's just a big circle, and you have your computer, and it's just in the middle of your living room, dude. Dude, stop trying to make your house a house and just make it a giant content creation.
Well,
unit.
I wouldn't want a circle table in
just
the middle of the room.
Yeah, but then you're like just going,
it's like
spinning around like to all your little like instruments and stuff.
No, are you talking about like on the all around the outside?
Like a full circle around you. Like you have to like.
Oh, I thought you were saying in the middle, like in the middle.
No, you're in the middle,
dude. Yeah, no, that would be.
And
awesome,
then like all your stuff's all around you, and you could set up like multiple cameras, like in front of the keyboard, in front of a bass, in front of a guitar, and then switch cameras, and then you spin around, and now you're in front of a keyboard playing. Switch cameras, now you're in front of like a you pick up the guitar and play it, and it's just like a big ring.
Dude, that would be pretty cool.
You spin around in circles.
I mean, that wouldn't be like just put like tables, including folding tables, just put them all around where I have like something like desk space to do stuff. Except for maybe like have one area, literally just have one wall that's. Oh, dude, that's the update too. That's going into that. Have one wall that's the green screen, but like this wall, I bought like they're clear. I bought these like. It's just sticky stuff, but it's like the little hooks, and it has like a clamp that comes on top, and it's meant to hold like rod, like just it's meant to hold. It'll hold it. I need to test it though, but you got to let it sit for like 24 hours, and I think it'll hold the weight on its own with just two at each end, like in the corners of the room, and that way I can just have it hanging up there and just slide it all the way back to the corner if I do want like the open space. But then bring it all the way out, even in front of the door, so I have the full green screen width. It just blocks my door, but it's like it's not. I could even leave it against the wall, but just pull it just enough because it only goes over my door a little bit. It's not much. It's too much to have a stand in front of my door. That was the problem. I didn't want to just have a stand. But if that stuff can hold it, and I thought about it too, even if those aren't quite strong enough, I can just put up two at the ends, like two on each end. The problem is middle support, I guess, but it's like, man, like it's just a big cloth. Like it's heavy. That does add weight, but it's like there's things I can do to fix that, and I think I could have it. I kind of want it where
it's just one big cloth, right?
Yeah, I kind of want it where I can put it in front of the only problem with putting it in front of the couch or behind the couch, like behind the couch is cool because the couch is in. But if I ever want to be able to stand up and not have a couch in whatever scene or I'm doing, you know, like for streaming, it'll be cool, funny. Anything I wanted a green screen would be great. But like if I'm like actually, because I kind of want to set it up and try to think about like doing like real like movie like shots or something, you know, trying to do things like that just to play around with. Like, even just for promo stuff for this, just acting out, blah, whatever, just making crazy stuff, just looks, just doing things on a green screen, because then I can just put myself wherever for, like, a promo. And because it goes under the floor, too, so you could literally, I could put my whole body, but it would be a thing. I would probably want to have a camera just set up, like, behind, on top of my TV. Man, I really want to add a bunch of stuff, but it's like, it's expensive, man, and it's just work, too.
Yeah. Well,
it's like my computer's already struggling to run this stream, and it's like, do I really want to be running like two more cameras and a green screen filter, and you know, it's just it gets. Yes, I do.
Yes, you do.
But yes, I mean, realistically, like it's like if I'm trying to get that involved, and I think I do want to do it. The best thing is just, like get a computer that can handle it. Like it's just the reality of the situation. It's either do it all on this computer and just have a one computer thing. And if I'm playing a game, just lower those settings. That's the only thing is like doing it on one computer is not that bad anymore. It's just, when you're playing a game, you probably don't want to be doing too much crazy stuff, but you know, I have a computer that can run it. That's why I'm like, probably should just buy something. But moving on, I don't want to get too caught up on me purchasing things.
Yeah.
That's like I'm just going off on my rants. Yeah, I know.
They hate them. They hate capitalism. Crowd hates capitalism. They hates consumerism.
But yeah, man, cool things, man. Cool things. I'm gonna try to.
We got a lot of cool ideas for the show. I think that's
Yeah.
really what the whole point of that is. It's like we're in the incubating stage.
Yeah.
We got a lot of ideas that we want to. We're just sorting everything out, and hopefully it gets less and less scuff, and it'll hopefully get, you know, the more we can do, the more we can do. You know, that's what they say. That's what they always say. That's what I've always said.
Yeah.
Well, what's our first? Let's get into our first segment. Video segment.
Are we video segmenting?
Yeah, I didn't have shit go on this week. I literally, like I said, broke. It happens, crowd. Sometimes you have a boring week. Sometimes you break
they
your
were
thumb and you
talking about
disassociate.
Movie time.
Oh, they were cheering?
Cheering for movie time.
I don't know what they're doing, dude. They're complex. They're the most complex part of this show. What we got? Oh, is this that anime?
Yeah, this is that. That's what I had first. Okay, so just to give a background, I've seen some of this, so you know, but it is basically this is an anime that this group, Corridor Crew, I believe, or whatever, made. They made an anime using like AI and stuff, apparently.
All right.
And yeah, people had some things to say about it, but let's just get into let's watch the finished product. We'll watch that first, and then we'll do behind the scenes. Does that sound good to you? Like how they did it. Like watch the finished product, and then we can go and see what how they did it.
It's a rock paper scissors anime.
You'll see.
Yeah. Whoa.
Let's make it full screen, and 1080 is great.
Father always said that you were the more artistic one.
Have you forgotten you're my twin brother? The Creator dealt us the same hand of cards.
Whoa,
I just played mine better.
Is it loud
You
for
missed
you?
the funeral.
I've only come for the part that matters.
I will not share the crown.
You will never wear it!
I've dedicated my...
Sorry, I'm not trying to like... I just felt it was loud for me, and if it was kind of loud for you at all...
It's a little loud.
Yeah, let's... And we'll back it up a little bit, so we...
You will never wear it!
I've dedicated my life to governing, and the kingdom is on the precipice of starvation.
that hair's doing
the
some
throne
crazy
must be
things.
mine, or millions will die.
Their face.
Have you forgotten you're my twin brother? We were born at the same time. My claim to the throne is just as valid as yours.
Well, I'm sorry you traveled all this way for nothing, brother. I control the city
Did you
garrison.
see the way he
I'll have you
walked?
exiled.
Let us not forget the
He was
power
like-
to settle this lays in the palm of our hands. Do you remember what Father taught us about holy combat?
You dare
What
suggest...
did Father say, brother?
Here, in this holy house, in front of our Father and the Creator themselves.
For the crown, the throne, and the lives of millions under its rule, I challenge you!
You fool! You know not what you do!
I challenge you to rock, paper, cross blades!
Have you gone insane, brother? You project such confidence, and yet your eye quivers. I know you too well, but if I can read you so clearly, then... how can I win? If I can read the slightest detail on your face, you can read mine. We're brothers. We think we're different, but on the seabed of instinct, where, like weak sunlight, rays of thought are unable to pierce, we are the same. You will predict my every move.
Poor brother, I can sense your fear. We have spent every day of our lives together. You are an open book to me. It will be trivial to defeat you thanks to my ancient technique.
I can already feel him in my mind. The moment I pick my move, he'll know. For the good of the kingdom, I must win. But how?
One,
The answer is obvious when I think about it, but it terrifies me.
two,
If he's in my mind, I must have no mind. I must eliminate all thought.
3.
Yes, if I never make a decision, he will never be able to predict me. It's beautifully perfect. Father, you would be proud.
Beautifully perfect.
Shoot!
Oh my god. Double run.
Poetic. It appears we even share similarities in holy combat. No matter. The strategy holds. Onward as planned.
1, 2, 3, shoot!
Again? Does he know my strategy?
2 stones in a row. What the chances?
Did he steal my notes? Did he follow me into the archives? No. Stay the course.
Don't change a thing. The moment you let a thought enter your head, you lose.
Again! 1, 2, 3, shoot! My heart screams at me to change course, to throw paper and win, but I must not listen!
Is my plan too obvious? To never change the shape of my hand, not a conscious thought in my mind? If I am to be the master of this kingdom, I must start by ruling my mind.
This strains my will to its very limit! 4 rocks in a row? Spare us your churlish outbursts!
Father would be proud, neither prince wavering in their resolve.
He still watches us, silently.
It can't be.
Brother!
Father!
You! Yes, it was me. He challenged me to rock, paper, crossblades. And for the wager, our lives!
The crossed blades? Father lost his life with the crossed blades?
The foolish old man had no idea of my power. And neither do you, brother.
Father! It's so obvious I feel like a dullard for not seeing it earlier. We're twins, bound to the same ruts of the roadway of the cosmos. He will only throw stone. It's how he defeated you, and it's how he plans to
Knuckles
defeat me.
moving all over the place.
And now that I know his secret,
Yeah.
ending this will be trivial. Thank you for helping me see, Father.
For the entire kingdom and the crown!
Let's finish this. One, two, three!
Shout!
Okay.
Oh no. Wait, was he the bad guy?
I don't know if any of them are bad guys. I don't know. I'm confused. It's him. It's the. Coming back.
Coming back. Big party.
Brother. Oh. Episode 2.
Oh, there's 2 episodes?
No.
My sons, behold the realm which you will inherit and the noble citizens that support it.
Why they look
Each
like
and every
super
one
anime
a
whenever
subscriber
it's
to
a kid.
CorridorDigital.com, contributing to the
This is crazy,
satisfaction
though.
and enlightenment of
It's
citizens
kinda
in realms
crazy
far
having-
beyond our borders.
It's like their
But to reach our
subscribe
goal
thing.
of total enlightenment, we
Yeah.
must expand our domain. So we must spread the message. Subscribe to CorridorDigital.com. Now, say it with me, boys. Subscribe to CorridorDigital.com.
Alright, crowd, subscribe
You'll
to
make great leaders one day.
CorridorDigital.com.
All right.
Alright. So,
Well-
what, thoughts of it as
Wouldn't
an
it be cool
anime?
if you could film
Here we
yourself
wait.
and easily
So okay, before we watch the behind the scenes, what'd you think?
Okay. It didn't look like anime at all.
Not really. No, it didn't.
It looked more like a Joe Haver video.
Yeah.
Like
Other
than the
I've
way
seen
they
a lot of
behaved
people
and
saying
acted.
it's like rotoscoping.
Yeah,
like
that's what he does. He does. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a
It looked a lot
filter
more
over
just
like real video.
Over real people. I thought it was going to be like, I don't know. I didn't know that. Like that just seemed like rotoscoping.
Yeah, it pretty much it kind of is, but it's using AI to like honestly like yeah, we'll just watch it, but yeah, I mean obviously watching it like you can see some of the effects and things that happen is like there was definitely some effort from them. Yo, what's up?
Yo.
But yeah, like let's get into the behind the scenes.
How they did it.
Wouldn't it be cool if you could film yourself and easily turn into anything you want, like a cartoon
Their
character?
eyes were nuts.
What if this could just be a means of capturing performance, and you can visualize
Yeah, it was like
whatever your
moving around a
imagination
lot
wants
and
afterwards.
stuff.
This kind of no limits creativity is accessible to films or animations with multi-million-dollar budgets, but it's part of our humanity to try to visualize things that don't exist. Like, let's talk about traditional 2D animation, cartoons. The most creatively liberated medium is also the least democratized.
Oh, dude, I watched
It
Attack
takes
on
incredibly
Titan
skilled
today.
people drawing every single frame of your movie.
This is
to make it happen.
this is
But
one
I think
part what he just said there. A lot of people,
Yeah.
I've noticed, don't agree with. are kind of like democratized. Like, what do you mean? Like, it's like drawing. like how is I mean, I'm not saying that there's not expenses involved in animation and stuff, but I don't know if I'd say it's like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think because yeah. It's kind of like recording, like having good cameras, good lighting, green screen, all that stuff is actually much more expensive than being able to draw. Like,
I don't know. Animation's expensive. Because like
I mean, it is, but this
just
is
because it's so
expensive too.
it's so time consuming. I don't know if it's more expensive. I don't know what's more expensive.
Yeah,
It's so time consuming.
It is
and
true.
takes,
It's
like,
time consuming.
And artists, they should be paid a lot because like that shit is fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like it's hard as shit to draw.
But yeah,
So, like all the years put into it, and then you need multiple people doing it. Especially like a lot of anime, it's done in like weekly basis. Like they're doing that shit within a week, and like
yeah, this took
they
them
don't
2
take,
months to
like-
put together.
yeah, that's 2 months with AI helping out. Like then to think you're doing it like week by week, maybe like 1 or 2 episodes ahead of time.
Hold up a second. Let me. I'm gonna switch cams real quick. I need to. I forgot that I had a weird setting on my main monitor, so it was showing you like the frame rate. And I mean, not that that's like a problem, but it does. I don't.
The frame rate. Hello? Hello? I can't hear you. What's up, chat? IckyBob's gone mute, or maybe I've gone mute. I don't know. What's he doing? Chat said you're muted, or they either said I'm muted. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's good. I like it when my stream doesn't stop. I said I like it when our streams don't stop. It's a good sign. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. We were watching. I don't know what you were doing. Is that the one with all our playlists? My main computer. Nice. Man.
But yeah, I got my mic plugged into 2 inputs into 2 different the interfaces on each one, so that way I can switch between them. All right, let me see. Now I'm double up. Let's see. Hello, you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm just move Ableton down here. Here. Let's see. Okay. Nice. Okay. Cool.
Nice. We're in the void.
All right.
All right,
I don't
nice.
hear it. Are you hearing that?
We're crisp.
Okay.
Yeah, now I don't hear it. You hear it?
I'm not hearing it. Oh, I know why. Here. Oh man. Fun times. Let me switch again.
My goodness.
Man, we're having technical difficulties.
Is Crowd still with us?
Why is it not showing up? Okay, let me try to. Gotta go in the settings on the thing.
Scuff Talk Show.
What?
There
we go.
Scuff Talk Show.
Now, are you hearing it now?
Into anything you
Yeah.
Okay, you ready? All right.
I'm
What was
ready.
what was I doing? Like, what was even going on?
I was talking about anime. So I was blanked out talking about anime.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get the chat where it fits better. Hold up. Dang it, it's already gone. Whatever. We need to make chat stay longer. That's one change that I want to make. Already decided. Okay.
All right. All right, let's see how these crazy guys made this anime. That's
Wait, hold up. I gotta get my stuff back up.
yeah. This rotoscope anime.
All right. So how is it? Is everything okay out there?
They're pissed, dude. They're always pissed. Now they're fighting again. Calm down. We're sorry. Yeah.
All right. That's just too much. Okay.
Dude,
Wouldn't it be cool
crowd's
if you could
always
film
pissed.
yourself and easily turn into anything you want, like a cartoon character. Like, what if this could just be a means of capturing performance, and you can visualize whatever your imagination wants afterwards? This kind of no limits creativity is only.
You came in at the when we were talking about rotoscope.
Yeah, we said it looked like it's more like rotoscoping than AI making an anime or making actual animation.
Where's
Which I don't know. I guess rotoscoping could be put under animation.
Yeah.
Only accessible to films or animations with multi-million-dollar budgets, but it's part of our humanity to try to visualize things that don't exist. Like, let's talk about traditional 2D animation, cartoons. The most creatively liberated medium is also the least democratized. It takes incredibly skilled people drawing every single frame
I mean,
of
it
the movie
does take
to
a
make
lot
it
of
happen.
people, but I think that's a
we
good
came up
thing
with
because
a new way to animate, a way to turn
it's
reality
a lot of stuff
into a
you got to
cartoon.
do.
It's one more step
And your eyes
towards
don't
true
jiggle
creative freedom,
around like that.
where we can easily create
but,
anything we want.
but it is pretty. I will say.
So how do we do this? How do we
It is
turn
pretty cool
a video
what they do.
into a cartoon?
Or how
Well,
they
we've
did
been
it.
making a series of videos where we experiment with AI image processing.
It is
This is
true
similar
that, like,
to AI image
we
generation,
only have, like, a
but in our
couple,
case, we are transforming images
animation
rather than generating them from
companies
scratch.
within
So one of
our
the newest pieces of technology
entertainment
is a machine.
industries.
Yeah, that it is
it's
true.
either
It
like
does
Disney
take
or
a lot of money
Pixar.
to do like high, you know.
High budget.
Yeah.
We just don't have a lot of it. Like, we're just we have like 2 companies or 3, a small handful of companies that actually make animation.
I'm trying to make the chat fit right. Dang it, there we go. I guess it's pretty much more like Stable Diffusion, I'd say I don't know. I guess it is kind of like, it's just an algorithm. It's not actually it's just, yeah, it's not really like intelligence, I would say, but I don't know. It has some good results, I'd say. Like, it is impressive, I have to admit.
Machine learning process known as diffusion. At its core, the diffusion process lets a computer generate an image from noise, much like how we imagine an image from an ink blot or looking at clouds. So if we take a picture we already have and we put a little bit of noise on top, we can have the computer clear up that noise while drawing in new details that weren't there before. It's a lot like looking at a picture and squinting your eyes and trying to imagine you're looking at something else. And if you squint a lot, well, what you're looking at becomes really fuzzy. And you can imagine that you're looking at something different. So current technology can do this amazingly with one
So that's
image.
how I didn't
So
know
why haven't we
that's
seen
what
it
it
applied
was
to video?
doing. What
Shouldn't
AI
we be
like
seeing
art was doing.
mind-blowing visuals all over the internet?
Like breaking images
Fortunately,
down.
the moment people
Oh,
try
really?
to find
Yeah.
this video,
Yeah, and then
everything fell
rebuilding them
apart.
back up.
Because the
I didn't
first-
realize like that was a part of the process.
What'd you think?
Yeah, it's very waking life. I don't know. See, like, that's the thing. I never really.
Yeah,
I don't
'cause
know
it's
what I
not really-
thought it was actually doing.
Like, yeah, it's basically, it's fed like a database of like, that's
Yeah, I
just
kind of thought it just had like a
it's
broad.
it's a big scrape of the internet, basically. They use those
Yeah.
databases and they feed it. Not all of them. They're all different now because people at this point, this stuff is just out for everybody. Like I said, I have it on my computer, but like you can feed it whatever models you want. You can train it on whatever you want. Like that's up to the user because it's open source. So, but like the main
Yeah.
ones that people were using are trained on a lot of stuff, like everything. But the more you have, the better and more different crazy things it can do. Like, because if it's a small training
Yeah.
sample and it's all your own stuff, like if you were to feed an AI all your artwork, it basically probably wouldn't produce something outside of the realms of what you like, your look, like your style and all that stuff, you know? But
Yeah.
once you feed it everything, it can do all kinds of different styles and stuff and like kind of mix them together. It's kind of crazy what it can do. But yeah, it's trained on that, and it's the databases are basically
guess I
it's
thought
like
it
a
was just,
picture,
like-
and it'll be like basically what they did is they take these databases of scrape, and then they assign like they get people to look at the image and be like, what is this? Describe it. Describe descriptors. And then that's how it trains. So when it sees a certain text, it knows those, it brings up the same like pixel.
It knows what
it changes
yeah.
from noise to that. Like if you typed in dog, and yeah, that's the more you type, the better it gets. But if you type in like dog, it's gonna take like from noise to what it thinks change the pixels to where it's like a dog. And but the crazy thing is then the models, it's trained from these huge data sets, but the models themselves are like, it's small. Like it doesn't actually contain the other people's works and stuff. That is the kind of crazy part about it. And it, to some degree, some people say it's a crazy form of compression that's super efficient, like a very compressed versions of all these artworks and things on the internet and pictures, people's faces too. But it's kind of the thing, like, but that's the thing. It's kind of crazy though, because that's like really, to be honest, that's wild that you can do that. But yeah, that's all it's really doing. It's not, I wouldn't say it's like, it's hard to say, but it's like, I wouldn't quite say it's intelligence. It's more an algorithm of like going from noise to an image based on what you type in and what it learned from other images. Get AI, train it on Adam Sandler movies and tell it. Yeah. Man, I speaking of that, we're kind of gonna get into something a little later that's a little similar. I don't want to sit on it too much because it's kind of cheesy, but
we got.
It is a little.
I have my 3-word limit on this next segment. All right,
but the thing is with the image stuff, and they're gonna get into this. It is just an image. Like there's not like they're here. Well, I'll let them explain it. It's a long video.
Step of the process requires us to noise up our image. Every single frame ends up looking different, and the video gets super flickery. The very nature of this tech seems to make it impossible to ever work with video. And well, I nearly gave up.
That's what I did. That video I sent you,
kept
I fed a video of me frame by frame to AI, and that's what it came out with. And that's why it was like very just all over the place. But they kind of, I'm not gonna lie, figured out, like, it's pretty impressive and just makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, compared to like that Matrix clip they just showed, they really had to put some work in, because their stuff, it was really good at keeping it from like just going too bananas and like keeping everything as you could tell, like their eyes would be getting like wonky and their kind of like facial emotions, and it was really a lot of it was the lighting. Like you could tell the lighting never really felt constant, but compared to like what that Matrix thing was doing, they have to put a lot of work in it. Yeah,
it is actually like they did some. It's honestly, in my opinion, it's impressive what they are doing.
Yeah.
How do
I thought I just had like a completely different idea of what they made. I didn't even know that they were using like film and like
it's kind of cool. That's why I was saying like
to like animate it.
Yeah,
I thought they were like, I thought they had like a storyboard, and then they're like had the AI learn a bunch of like animation and like anime shit, and then they fed it a storyboard and say, now make this a
this is basically taking like film and putting a filter of a lot of they do. Obviously there was a lot of visual effect. It's pretty impressive, honestly, like what they do. I guess for most people the questionable part is the use of AI in it. That's like just in general, because most of them are trained, like they even like pretty much like they show you what they trained it on, and it's basically like, yeah, you did. But it's like, I'm not gonna lie, like the legal precedent is like kind of hard to figure out when it comes to that, like, because like if the image itself is not in the final product of the AI, is that technically, can you say that that's like, I would understand if it in the final form that you're selling or putting on your computer and using to make it the artwork or whatever is like in the thing itself, you know what I mean? Like it's hard to it's hard to know where the precedent is like okay, it's trained on it, but it's not actually in the software. It's just software that was trained and learned how to do this image based on all this stuff.
But people do the same thing. Like people look at other people's art and then they go, "Oh, that's how you learn to draw, you learn to do any form of art by looking at other people who make art." And that's what the AI is doing.
Yeah, it
So, like,
pretty much kind of is.
That's kind of like, well, now you can't.
Yeah.
You can sue someone else because they learned how to copy a little bit of your style and they integrated it into their art. So can you sue that person for doing that?
Yeah, it's
And
it's
then-
very hard
so
precedent.
how do you
to-
sue the AI? As
That's
long as there's,
that's
like,
where
enough-
my like to be
like-
honest, like I don't like.
I think
like,
the bigger issue
the
with
things
that
I've
is if
seen.
you go make this art in the style of Spirited Away, and then it literally makes like another thing that looks exactly like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it depends on how much you make the AI bite off the other person's work.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was pretty against the entire idea that the AI is just like sampling and scraping off people's work from the internet.
Yeah, because like
Until I kind of I just
general,
connected
like,
that dot of like, people do that. Like, people learn from other people's work. So how much is the AI actually copying? 'Cause
Yeah.
I couldn't look at that video and be like, oh, clearly that AI took art from this anime creator. Like, you
Yeah.
can't really see any of it in there.
Yeah, they
So-
actually explain where they got it, what they did feed it to get that look, and it is straight up just they took it from this one anime, and like they go
Is it
through
JoJo's Adventure?
No, it was I think it's
Okay.
called Vampire Hunter. I haven't seen it. It's free on YouTube apparently right now, but it's not like
Vampire
free
Hunter?
of copyright.
Watched
Like
that
it's not
in,
free of
middle
like.
school.
You know, that's what some people
like
were like,
from
well,
the
it's free
80s.
on
It's
YouTube. And
old.
it's like, well, just because it's free on YouTube in one country doesn't mean you can just, oh, yeah, let's like watch it live and
Yeah.
use it, do whatever we want with it. You know, that's not how that really works. But, you know, I don't know. It is kind of indifferent because, like, it is pretty impressive, but it's also like, the fact is it's trained off of like, it's of other, from a scrape. And I do. In general, not just artwork, like in general, I don't like the idea of like scraping the internet massively and using it to train it on like our faces,
It's the ease
like,
that it
and,
can do it.
like when I found out that
frustrating.
like there's a lot of like security companies that pay to have that research data, like that these giant scrapes of the internet to have people's faces like already in a database and stuff. It's kind of its privacy is like very like.
Oh, yeah.
You know, a problem in general on the internet with social media, and I never liked it, but I think everybody just was like accepted it. Was like, well, this is how it is, and I want to post on Twitter, so here we go, or whatever, or Instagram. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Still
yeah, it's hard to
50-50.
yeah, it's like I do think like I don't know, I do feel like it's the copyright in general is like a weird thing, and I don't know if it was quite ready for like internet. But I mean, they're making decisions. They've already like I think I said it last week is that one person was like they wanted to make a comic book, and they made a comic book with AI artwork straight up, but they wrote the story and stuff, but they like basically what they ruled is like, yes, you can do your comic book, go for it, but the images are not copyrighted because it was generated by AI. So somebody could straight up just grab those images and do what they want with it too, you know, and you couldn't stop them because it's not they didn't consider it human made. So, which is kind of weird. That's already one court ruling that is odd. That or not odd, but that is like that's what they decided. So I don't know. We're gonna see how people come out with it. But a lot of people were kind of upset with this video about that because they kind of like, and they even tell you though. But like my problem with that though is like, well, at least I mean, yes, they're making money off these videos, but on their YouTube channel. But it's like, at least they did tell you, yeah, that we straight up sampled this other anime to make the video, you know, as opposed to like, what if they didn't tell you? Like, would you know which one it was, or if they mixed two styles together or something? Like, you know, it might be hard to. Oh yeah, and I agree too. I agree with that too, because like honestly, that's what got me into a lot of the older music. Like there's a lot of older music that I wouldn't have even listen to, but if it wasn't for it was on a sample. So, and I like sampling myself, and I understand that, like, yeah, if I'm sampling something and I don't, I might play it, throw it in a live show or something like that, but I usually don't, I don't try to do too much of, I've done it before, obviously. I got remixes all over my stuff online, so I'm definitely not a stranger to sampling, that's for sure. So I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
What is it? It's like something. It's like the kind of like the rule is like transformative. As long as you have it like, as long as there's enough of like transformation into something new, it's kind of like it should be. I don't really see a problem with that so much.
Yeah.
And like this doesn't. Even if they taught the AI from like that Vampire Hunter anime, it's like a completely transformed.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it is like, it is definitely different. Like
it's
because that's the thing. I mean,
especially with something like a show or a comic, because like that's like writing and illustration. And then if you make it like what they're doing, like they basically had to film the thing too.
Yeah, and it's a long video,
it's
so like
shoot a movie, illustrate it, and write it.
It gets
so,
pretty.
That's pretty transformative from the AI learning the art style, learning to replicate an art style from someone else.
Yeah. Yeah, like I do agree with that. Like I kind of like I think it should be more like of a thing of like, like I think honestly kind of how it is like you put out something, and if the person that owns that, if you didn't ask for the permission and you used AI or whatever it may be, and they're like, you obviously ripped off of me enough that I'm going to take you to court or, something about it, then, or they send you, and personally, like if I sampled their music, put it out, didn't ask for it in the past and stuff, comes up to me, is like, hey, do not take that down. I'll do it for sure. I got no question. Like, but that's usually not what happened. In the past, I've had people say, yeah, that's cool. One person, I did have somebody take one down that also told me, it was like, hey, like we have to take it down because the record label said so, but next time just send it to us first and we could possibly actually release it or something. So, which I never did, but so it's just a good point to show it to people. But then there's like fan art and stuff, and like people don't, gets too scared about stuff like that. And it's like it's in somebody's likeness or whatever, like there's a lot of things like that gets.
What's messed up about that is like a lot of the times it is like the record labels being like, you can't do this because we own this, and then the artist is like, I don't even care, because they usually kind of have like I don't know, it's almost just like they have that artist mindset of like it's transformative, it's whatever.
And I mean a lot of artists don't even care if you like.
Then you have a lot of people nowadays that are like trying to make it as artists like online. Like I see this in like art, like with the artists I follow, like they'll they have like a shop and they sell prints or they sell stickers or they'll make whatever, and then like a company will just like take their art and then they'll just
the video the video behind it. It is great. What? It's green screen. We should just put something behind them like later. This might be a little better. I'm just kidding. I'll pull it back up because we want to finish it eventually.
Dean.
We're talking about it. Yeah, Dean. If you can't see, his name is Dean. But yeah, I don't know, man. It is a weird situation, and I'm honestly, from the get-go, I was like, to me, like, I think art in general is a lot of times like it's hard to sit there and say, well, humans don't create art or think of things like that, but like we don't even understand how we think, and we really don't even understand how this AI thinks or does how it does what it was. It was basically like when we fed it enough data, this is what started happening. It was like when it was just small data sets, it was nothing. Like it wasn't good, it was bad. But once the data sets got into the billions and stuff, it was like, well, it's pretty. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's a crazy. this AI stuff is wild, and I've played around with it. I thought about I'm not gonna lie, after seeing this, it made me want to play around with it more. But like a lot of stuff I would do is I would like do like almost like collage type stuff. Like I would basically get it to get some like basically sketch out, and like it looked horrible, but sketch out like a drawing of like, this is a forest, this is that, and then I would sketch something else out, and I'd basically go into Photoshop and mix it all in together, and then I'd feed that into the AI, and then I would try to fix up where it messed up, and then I'd feed it again, and kept just drawing in new things and feeding it, and it just took my things, made it look a little better, and then I would fix up all the mistakes that it was making. And I was kind of like, like, yes, it is trained on other people's work and stuff, but it's also like, at that point, like, you're doing so much mishing up of all different things. Like, it's not just like type in text, hit enter, print it out, there we go, that's it. It's more like you are doing some form of editing. And now I'm not saying that like I'm an artist now, because that's not what I just did. I can't say I took doodles, fed it into AI, and be like, yeah, I'm a great artist, like, because I'm not. I'm a good Photoshop user. That's what that is, an AI
good
tools.
AI
AI tools.
instructor.
But like, AI is, the thing is like, it's probably just gonna get better and better. It is just gonna get better and better. And
I mean, it is. I've seen people make like the point of like AI is a tool for artists to use, and they're just kind of like, you better get used to using it. You should just figure out how to use it. And that's a pretty good point, especially when I see stuff like this. Like, this is the kind of stuff that I think,
because like
I would want to do is like film a movie and then use AI to basically like help you do special effects and help you do like the production stuff that's like way too much money.
Wait, I don't know. I think, I don't know. It's just kind of like, it is a lot of work. That's the biggest thing, and it's still kind of like, I definitely like the fact is that they did it in 2 months, like, and they had to figure out, they were like, all the kinks that they're working out in this is like the stuff that they're working out, like they figured it out now to some degree, and it's just going to get better. And I guess we can keep watching the video because they're going to explain it, and I don't want to try to explain it in my terrible way. But it did, I'm not going to lie, like, seeing this kind of did inspire me. Like, yeah, I'm not about to just go train a AI from scratch on somebody else's anime or something. Like, my more of an idea is to kind of try to use more of my, like, draw up my own stuff, feed it in, and like just mix and match, like make collages, make backgrounds, make things. Like and then start training it on stuff that I'm already doing itself. And then at that point, it's like there's hardly any ethical concerns when it's trained on like your own anything that you're doing. Like, what's the problem with that? Now you just got a thing like, here, generate 5 ideas in my art style, and then you can go from there. You don't even have to use it.
I don't know why they didn't just hire. Well, you could also just hire concept artists. Like, hire artists to be concept artists, and like feed the concept art to the AI, and then you're not ripping anybody off. Then you're paying an artist to do their job. It's supporting human art.
What they're using, like the Stable Diffusion, it's out already. It's open source. You can download it, and it's kind of weird to get going. It's kind of not the most user-friendly thing, but it's like that on purpose because, like, people are like, Midjourney's based on a lot of this stuff, and, like, a lot of the other AI art things. It's a lot of it is based on this technology, like the API. So it's very, I guess it's similar. I don't know enough, but I use Stable Diffusion mainly because that was the one that they're using. You can do image to image. Like, you could put your picture in and get it to touch it up, upscale it, like do all kinds of stuff. It's kind of cool. Like, it can upscale an image using like AI to upscale it, and it works better. It's kind of crazy. But yeah. Here, I'm gonna hit play. I have got to go to the restroom, so you're gonna have to take over for a second.
He showed that with a little bit of VFX problem solving, this might be something that we could actually overcome. It was at the time that Dean and Fenner went out and made that Spider-Verse short, and I set off on a personal quest to use this tech to enable me to make my very own anime. So it was time to Sherlock Holmes our way through this and engineer a solution to this flickery problem. And the first clue was Jurassic Park. 6 months ago, a user on YouTube named Hops uploaded an experiment. He had processed Jurassic Park to look like low-poly Zelda. And he used an interesting new technique to noisify the image. And he had achieved excellent results. So I'll explain. Every time you process an image, the noise that you put on top changes. Therefore, the forms in the image get changed every frame. If we freeze that noise, things become a lot more solid in the image, but now it kind of feels like the image is moving underneath a weird warp layer, and the details stay inconsistent. So the new trick used in that little Jurassic Park video is simple. If we can turn noise into an image, let's just reverse an image back into the noise.
I don't even know how much processing power.
Literally just do it backwards. Therefore, the noise is no longer randomly changing every frame, nor is it locked. If the two frames are nearly the same, so is their fuzzy, noised
like
up
live
versions.
generated image?
Therefore, they get interpreted in a similar way. So we had one piece to the puzzle solved. No more random noise on our image. But I tried to make my video look like a cartoon.
Because like I can hear, I have a 3080, and when I run Stable Diffusion, just generating like
just to encounter another problem.
Just like generating like just I think it was like 5 images and stuff, and it's like you have to start at like 768 by 768 is like the highest that you can. I mean, you can make it bigger, but it's like that's where the AI starts struggling. So then you got to upscale to higher resolutions. But the cool thing is you can take an image and move it over, and it can fill in gaps based on what you already have. It's kind of crazy. Like you could take that's how they did that thing where they took that old painting and like expanded it, like showed the whole room or whatever behind them, like around it. And I mean, honestly, it's pretty crazy. Like, of course, people can do that too, but like, I don't know. It's pretty. I don't know. I do think it is kind of cool that you can like this is possible. Like, it is kind of wild. Like, it's because it's different, honestly. But
Dead end? Well, no. Because around this time, style models were becoming a thing in the Stable Diffusion space. A person named Nitrosock started creating some amazing diffusion models built to convert your image into one specific style. So then it dawned on us. This was the key to eliminating
I probably should start
style
playing
effect.
with Stable Diffusion.
Like imagine
more
telling
again.
100 different people to draw
It started
a cartoon
filling up
dog.
my computer though.
You're going to get 100
so many
different
just
dogs back.
terrible
Now
files, and
imagine
some were
giving
good.
everyone
some
a
crazy.
character style sheet saying, draw a cartoon dog exactly like this. The images are going to look a lot more similar. So we had to train our own model, specifically on only one
this
style
is
that we wanted to replicate. Another big
That's the anime that they decided, and you can see like that is the style for sure. Like it looks like that, but honestly,
that we
I
wanted
haven't
to
seen that anime.
Another
so
big step forward, but it
I
only
wouldn't have
uncovered
recognized
another new
that.
problem. On tests I performed
I've seen
on
that
myself,
anime. I didn't
the
recognize
features
it.
on the face were still changing and jumping all over the place. So the idea
It looks
hit us.
good, though.
We made a
It
video
actually,
where
other
we
than
trained
the weird
ourselves into a
stuff.
diffusion model so that we could tell an epic fantasy story. Why not do that here? I trained a model to not only replicate a specific style, but to also specifically know a character, me. I trained it on images of me wearing the same clothes on the same green screen background that I was using for my test sequence.
Okay,
And
one thing that
suddenly-
I'm thinking, like, and I know they probably tried to do it with this, but it's like, the weird parts that it had, like the shadows and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, could you not just go for, I know it would take a while, but it's like, compared to hand drawing it and making every single piece from scratch and stuff, almost, like, could you not just change that shade on his head to the right, to not bounce around every, I know that would take a while, but like, I mean, well, sure, but compared to drawing it by hand from scratch, that's nothing,
Yeah.
like that's where I'm getting at is like a lot of these things I feel like you could, fingers might be tough, touching up fingers, especially moving around, but it depends on how much animation you put into it. It's like you don't have to like make it this animated like frame by frame.
Boom. Everything.
Because that's almost like
the
feels like
consistency
it's
between
like
frames was hugely improved.
very hot frame rate.
Well, almost. It still wasn't quite perfect. But we're VFX artists who have worked with crappy video files. Surely.
So
we
wait,
must have
how
a
did
tool
they
in our
do that?
arsenal
How did they train it to like? Did you catch that?
What?
How did they train it to like to look better like that? Exactly. They trained it on their own. So basically they
like,
created
design
they took
models.
their models, trained it into the AI. They took pictures of themselves and that anime into the AI, and then that's what came out. It just turned them into the
to deal with
It's
light.
kind of
filter.
crazy.
So
And
we
that's
applied
kind of
the
what I
Flicker
did
plugin
with that
in DaVinci
frame by
Resolve,
frame.
and we set it to remove flickering light.
It's crazy that was one of the first. I mean, I'm not trying to like toot my own horn, and I probably should have kept going with it, but I stopped messing around with it mostly because I was just like, I just want to see how this plays out. But I actually did one of the first few things was like, I'm gonna take a video of myself doing this and feed it into it and see what it gives me and like type in some things, and it was scary because in the back behind me, like back here, it started turning into a little person sitting back there, and it would fade out, come back in, and I was like by myself late at night doing this and watching it back, and it's just like it just felt weird because you're like watching a video back of yourself, what you just recorded, and there's like people popping up in the background. It's kind of creepy, but I did this before they did. Just kidding.
And it was that simple. Suddenly, we were there. It was working.
What I did
We had
didn't
a
look like this,
consistent,
that's for sure.
Moving, emotive cartoon character. And it was all just driven with video of us on a green screen.
That does look
I think
pretty
we've
good for
cracked
like
a
a
workflow here. for
filter
getting something
over
that looks like a cartoon,
video
and it's pretty
footage.
bonkers.
It's working, you know.
Yeah.
I think we could do maybe a couple more experiments, but it's like ready to rock.
It's not
I
a
think
filter
Nico has
exactly.
figured out the key to creating a consistent
Yeah.
character.
That I
Now,
thought
it was time to
they
make
I
that
thought they had
anime
like acted it
that I've
all
always
out.
wanted.
Yeah, they did, but then they had to train it each scene by scene, trained into the. Basically, you took the video and then you render it out by each
Okay.
frame, and then you feed that. That's why, like when I did that to mine, it like that short clip was like a lot of shit, and mine was way like just going all over the place. But what they showed, and that was my problem with it, and what they showed is like that's how you fix it. Kinda, it's still gonna have its a few like the shadows and things might move around, but
To make. Because as you've seen on the channel, we have our anime videos, anime fidget spinners, anime self-driving cars, anime baseball, but they're all filmed for real because we don't run an animation studio and it's very hard to do so these days. So I've had this idea
It is
forever.
true.
Anime, rock, paper, scissors.
I mean that's another way
What
to
is
think
the-
about it. Like now, somebody that can already draw really well, or can animate even, or whatever. Like you can basically draw like a scene, and to get the next frames, act it out, or you could literally like act out the part instead of having to draw frame by frame. Like you basically you could take what would normally take a team of a bunch to do. You can start to clear it up. But I don't know, is that even helpful? Like I'm not that really. At least I'm
Yeah.
not doing 2D animation, you know. So I don't know.
Ultimate rock,
The
paper, scissors
thing about
game.
like
Two twin
2D animation and just animation in general is like you could just
That's a cool shot.
when you
though.
start
That's a cool
animating it
image.
in your still frames, you can like make the bodies like do things that like you just can't do when you act it out.
yeah.
Like if you want to like emphasize somebody swinging their arm, you can like draw it in a very distorted, strange way. So like when you can get the AI to like start doing that to like your reference of yourself that you've acted out, then it's gonna look then it's gonna look really crazy compared
Yeah.
to like kind of like where they're at now, where it's like it can animate you moving around in an anime style, but it can't like kind of put
Yeah.
that secret sauce of like an animator who does like
Yeah, like they were doing
Uh,
rock paper scissors, not
like
a
if you-
like crazy sword
like-
fight, like you know, like or some shit.
well
you know?
like well even they're doing that rock paper scissors to be kind of like a crazy sword fight, to be like a
yeah,
exaggerated combat, but like So like there's like an anime whenever something explodes or something really epic, some epic explosion happens, there's like a certain animator, whenever he does it, he makes everything kind of like turn into cubes. Like the rocks, when they break, they'll just all be like cubes. And it's just kind of like a stylistic thing he does for his explosions or his like for his animations. And that's like a stylized things that like if you just like plugged in a computer and you're like big explosion, big this, big that, the AI is just gonna give you like realistic looking explosions the best it can.
Yeah.
It's like that's what like I think the like something that people kind of at least at this point have over anime is that they can be like, well, what's something that wouldn't make sense and wouldn't happen in real life, but I want to add into this to like because it just would look really cool and it would just have this impactful feeling in the animation style. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna warp this guy's face to be like looks like it's smearing because he's moving so fast. Whereas if you just took a picture of yourself as if you're running really fast, the computer's just gonna be like, it's just gonna copy your face and it's just gonna copy an anime style. It's not gonna know like warp this way and warp that way.
Yeah.
So like,
and it does do.
I don't know.
Because I've seen this. It does do some warping when they're moving around. The thing did it itself. Because that's the thing is like if you depending on the frame rate you set the camera at, your pick image
like,
when you're moving will be warped. You know, because you'll have a trail behind you. Now it'll be different, and you can't tell it like turn this to the front or that vice. You know, make it look this other way, but it
hasn't got a point where it's like it doesn't just come off as like almost random and stuff like that. I feel like when it starts to like really,
it's gonna
like,
get better.
Or
people are learning tricks like this.
Point,
like
it's gonna look cool.
I mean, these guys figured this out in like 2 months, and that's pretty impressive. Like it looks, to be honest, like it looks pretty damn good for what it is. But like, yeah, there's problems and there's kinks for sure. There's definitely, but knowing that like basically like they're gonna say it at some point, but it's like 3 dudes with a camera and a green screen and some computers turned it into this. That's pretty. That's pretty impressive for a 3-man crew.
I'm not downplaying I'm not downplaying what this 3-man crew did. I'm talking.
But it is scary though. For I would say,
I feel like I have to be like, yeah, this is cool, but people still have like this level of like creativity.
And I don't know if AI is ever gonna, because that's like
replicating us. It's
kind of like when I watched this like talk. I think it was on. I can't remember if it was. I think it was it Lex Friedman or it might have been Joe Rogan. I don't know. It was some podcast or something. But they were interviewing this. I think it was, or maybe it was. I think it was actually Neil deGrasse Tyson. But either way, I was watching it and they were. It was like a AI, like somebody top of like a lot of AI, like it, but it was like ethics of it and stuff like that. And they were basically, she kind of made me feel pretty good about things just because she was like, I don't think people are quite, like, everybody's trying to make it like, let's make it human like, or let's make it like this. And it's like, I don't think people understand that it's just not that. It is like, it is what it is. You like think about it more of like in the sense of a dog, like not basically as intelligence, because it is very smart. But it's like a dog helps you out by doing things that you can't do. And y'all kind of like do things together, you know? And like, that's kind of like that dog can do things that we can't. It can smell well. It blah, blah, blah. It's got its benefits, but we have its benefits for it, you know? So that's why we kind of work together. And it's like, you kind of want to, it's not a dog, but it's also, you kind of want to look at it in that more of a way because it's not it is not human, but it can be very intelligent though. Yeah. So, and that's the thing. And I think that's kind of like how you gotta, because there's just certain things that, yes, it's just not, it's going to be amazing and beat the shit out of us at certain things like playing chess and playing video games that are like based around like that's the thing is like those video games that are like rhythm games and stuff, it can beat those like crazy, like dominate. But when it comes in Tetris, things like that, but like RPGs and stuff or fighting like certain games like that or Minecraft, it's like, you know, but that is more like, you know, it's different, you know, so
yeah.
But I don't know, it's crazy though, it's wild. But yeah, I don't think, honestly, I believe that like seeing this it's a very impressive that a 3-person team could do it. But honestly, if you have the budget or the like ability, I would say that like this same anime or whatever you want to call it, drawn by like a professional studio, I would probably prefer that one. If somebody was to do that and do that comparison, you know,
Yeah.
like the studio that they sampled from, if that, like, I haven't even seen that anime, but it was good. It looked pretty good. Like the artwork looked cool. So I think I would like that one better, but going from the standpoint of like 3 people could create something like this, that's pretty impressive, even just for a concept.
It's definitely a cool tool for like.
It's easier for you as a 3-man crew that
reason.
came up with a story idea to sell it by showing somebody something like this than it is.
I think
do
the
it
more
without,
it's
you know.
like the more like people are gonna, like you were saying, like going in and like tweaking the shadows and stuff like that, like yourself whenever you get kind of like the final image. I think like the more you're able to do stuff like that, and the more fluidly you're able to like fine tune what goes on, is gonna would like improve it a lot. Because like what I was saying with like the way you warp certain things and stuff like that, a lot of that has to do with like, it's almost like it has to do with like the emotion of it, because like you're trying to like portray feelings through these things. So like you want to be able to incorporate that in the animation itself. You want to like give it a certain feeling and a certain like level of like emotion to the events that are unfolding and to the way it's stylized. And when you can like have this thing like make this anime for you, and then you can go in and like very easily influence it in ways to where you can like craft it in a more personalized type of way, and like really perfect that. Because like you see them doing that in this, like the thing does that in this thing, but it almost kind of has like a randomness to it. And like sometimes it hits really well, and sometimes it looks awesome, but like when you can really fine tune like that aspect of it, I think it's gonna like take it to another level. Cause
and that's why I'm like
that feeling of just like rotoscope chaos almost to it. And I think the next level of fine tuning is like being able to like have it make this, and then being able to easily go back and like fine tune and like do some tinkering into it.
And
but I don't know, they might be doing that. Let me keep watching it before.
We were talking about it.
Born at the same time, equal claim to the throne. And it must be decided that day, for the king has died, and rock, paper, scissors must happen. So he wrote this short film. The next step is to treat it like a cartoon, which means recording the dialogue first.
So Nico, who are you playing today?
I'm playing Philip, and I have no idea how
And to be fair, they have a pretty impressive
would start
studio setup and
like,
equipment too. Like
Yeah,
it is
just go
not
through a few
cheap.
lines,
What
and
they
then
are
like
using.
we'll throw a filter or two on it to help nail the vibe.
Also, I think there's
My
more
character
than
is
3 of them.
Jules. My research here.
They
I just
said
put
it
my
took
own shot
3 of them,
Clint
but yeah,
in
I guess
here,
it looks like that's
screaming into
more.
a microphone. I'm just gonna channel Clint today. Nico has said
No,
that you go,
it's just that- I've
seen
you
at
whisper
least
and then you
4
scream.
people.
And there's no
Well, but they're
in
not
between.
all apparently working on the same project.
really loud,
Apparently, I guess.
full volume
I
conversation
mean,
on there,
but
so it
I
just
don't
sounds like
know.
somehow you have this incredible presence where even your quietest moments are as loud as your
Bill
screams.
Haver.
So Dean and I, we did the
Haver?
voice acting first.
What is it?
Joel
Yeah,
Haver.
I know what you're
It's
talking
Joel
about.
Haver.
Yeah.
It's Joel Haver.
Blew out our vocal cords, yelling as loud as we could. So after we did that,
Should we
we
just
did
start
design
screaming in the
costumes for
mic?
Each character basically just went on Etsy and
Should
bought
we?
some goofy clothes.
Yeah.
Well, look at this high-level costuming here. Oh no, we lost like half the tape. What we're trying to do is, you see all these doodads here is not.
I thought that was their video. I thought he was like, "Oh, I lost the thing," and then
the illustrations, because it would just mean more pencil mileage for the animators. So we're covering all that up.
But see,
with a
like,
color
you know,
that's
they're dressing
similar
in clothes
to
similar
the
to
rest
what
of the costume.
You know,
Once
they
this
definitely
is in
trained the
animation
AI to
space, all
wear
this
that
jank
outfit.
gets covered up
and-
with beautiful illustrated lines.
It's kind of crazy.
What we
Like,
did on the
it's,
green screen is we basically imagined.
You're definitely
that
not
we were
just
puppets,
typing in
right?
words
We're
and
puppeteering
printing out a
cartoon characters. So we're posing as a
video,
cartoon
you know,
character,
like-
and we're not doing any
Yeah.
audio recording. Instead, the audio's all.
and that would be a little
recorded,
sketchy,
like a real
but like,
cartoon.
honestly,
We're out
this
there
is
just
a
going,
decent amount of like effort.
Oh, yeah.
I'd have to say my only possible thing about it is the fact that like it's basically kind of trained on one specific anime, which I get it. That's how you get the style, but it's like that could be the only thing I can really say with what they did, in my opinion, would have any ethical concerns. I don't even know. But the thing is I don't think there's really a legal situation here other than
I think the only reason they really did that was to keep the reins on the AI from going too crazy.
Yeah, oh yeah, because if they just trained it on a lot of stuff, but that's the thing though, like, well, you can get past that by just training it on your own artwork or somebody that
I don't
you
get why
paid
they
for.
should have they should have just paid a
and I mean
they concept artists to be like, draw us a bunch of animes.
They are a YouTube channel, but they have some pretty hot. They're big. They're big enough, I would say, to be able to afford it.
If they had done that, then people would have been like,
"Oh,
this
nobody
is
would have
amazing,"
cared."
and they would have been like, "This
that.
is great," because like you're providing work to artists. Like that's the biggest fear with artists when it comes to this AI stuff is they just don't want to like feel like the way in which they want to be able to make a living is being taken away.
Yeah.
Like they just want to still feel like they can still be involved in the industry in some way. And it's like that would have been a good example to show how you can take an artist and still keep them involved in this.
Oh yeah, and that's how
this
like
new
honestly
tool that's
like
being introduced. It's just be like, yeah, we got a freaking concept artist, and they drew.
And
they
that's
drew us
already
some anime boys.
That's already
And now
kind of to
they're
some
in the
degree
shoot.
how I was technically using it. Although the model I was using was trained on like it was the huge database and everything.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is you can train your own, and like I don't know, like that's the thing is like I definitely get that argument, like it's kind of trained on like specifically somebody else's anime, which I mean honestly, like I once again I can see an ethical thing, but it is hard for me to know about a actual true like legal precedent here, because kind of like you were saying earlier is like, well, there's a point where like you got to say that like, you know, people can learn somebody's style and stuff. Like it's not necessarily
watched that
a
anime
style
and then
that can
they
be
learn to draw
trademarked
from that anime.
Yeah, like if you drew your own story or whatever, or just a picture in a style of that anime, you couldn't like, you can't say, oh, that's too much. But like if it looked like it, like complete, like it looked like a straight copy almost, or it wasn't derivative enough or transformative enough, then sure. But I don't know, man. Like when you put yourself from a live video footage into the anime, it is kind of, that's when it's getting like, well, I mean, that's pretty transformative. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's a strange situation.
We're basically just puppets.
Because, once again, we're trying to treat it like a cartoon. So there's a specific way we have to film this. We're basically gathering assets. So we're gathering paper cutouts that we're going to then pose in our comic.
They're like being
a lot
super
of these shots are just
extra.
us standing in a position,
that's kind of what I
and
was
we just
saying,
need a
is,
single
like,
frame. Because a lot of
they're trying to be
animation is just
super
single frames of
animated.
characters
Yeah.
standing there
Get
against
that
the background while you hear
expression, but,
dialogue.
like,
And there's a couple
you
rules
just
that we
can't
discovered that we have to follow for this. So first and foremost, you know, the style that we're matching, it basically has single direction lighting. It's not like you have characters that are painted with a beautiful edge light and a key light and a fill light and a different direction for an underlight. Like to actually have to paint that stuff onto a cell would be a lot of work. And so a lot of cartoons don't do that. They just stick to a basic light tone, dark tone shading system at most. And oftentimes it's just a single paint color. At the end of the day, we get to take risks. We get to try things that might break it because, boy, look at this giant crew we have. Oh wait, we have like 2 people and an actor, right? It's like, in Hollywood, you'd have 100 people on set doing a big movie. So we don't need costume department, we don't need makeup department, we don't need a crazy camera department. Right now, we're just being very, very simple and very, very straightforward and just focusing on the concept. Sam and I spent a lot of time conceptualizing these shots because at the end of the day, anime, it's just really all about tying your visual language to the story and really getting into there, stylizing it, thinking about things metaphorically, all that kind of stuff. Once again, it's your ideas that matter, right? It's your direction, your story. Because the AI takes it the rest of the way. I love it. It's such an awesome way to work.
Hey guys, so we are commemorating the launch of this anime Scissors video with an awesome limited edition shirt. It's only available for the next 7 days, available in tee and long sleeve tee. It's
That
super
shit
cool.
looks
It's designed
good,
by
boy.
human. And once again, it's
the
7
t-shirt's
days
made
only. These are
by
limited
human.
editions, so snag one right now. Also, if you
Look
want
how
a
much-
little
look how
tip
much
here, come over
better
here.
that
So
looks, though. That
subscriptions
shit
to our
looks so
website cost
good.
$3.99
Yeah, it
a
does
month,
look
but
good.
subscribers get a
That's the
15%
thing. Is
discount
like
on all
I
merch.
still
So if
think
you
that
really
like
want to get
hand
cool,
drawn
you can
like
go and
frame
subscribe
by
to our
frame,
website
like
and then use that
real
discount.
like
And then
animation.
basically
Animation
it's
is
the same price. Plus now you have
better.
a free 1 month of subscription to our website.
now.
Just saying.
I mean, we'll see.
Don't tell anyone I told you.
But I think that's
between us. Cool. All right.
So now that I walked you guys through the theory and the techniques that we're going to try to apply here, let me show you the workflow that we came up with that led us to 120 effect shots for this piece. So here's the video of me on the green screen, in costume, doing all the acting with the lip sync, right? So what we want to do is we want to have the AI basically trace this, to trace it in a cartoon style. Because we need to train a model to both know what I look like, as well as what style we want to apply. So when we were on the green screen filming, once we were done, we also took a bunch of pictures of me. My face, my body, different poses, some full body shots, pictures of my back, different lighting. A picture of Nico Perringer. Hey, here I am doing like the weird Fonzie point. So then we went and we took a bunch of frames from Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, which is an anime that came out in about the year 2000. It's actually free on YouTube. You can just go watch it if you want to. It's actually pretty cool. And we tried to grab frames of
Honestly,
different people,
it kinda
some
does
face
look
shots,
like
some
it,
torso
but it-
shots, full body shots,
does look
hands,
kinda
hair, even
different,
some
too.
abstract things like flowers.
Now that I'm looking
because
at more.
all
Like,
these different objects, with each picture effectively being a different
Castlevania.
object, a different character.
Yeah.
When we train the model, it's not going to learn any single subject. Instead, it's going to learn the style in which
And
all
that's
these
another thing.
subjects
I've
were
seen
drawn.
like
One little fun
you
little
know,
thing
that's
here.
not like
If
the
you look
first
at the
time I've
Vampire
seen
Hunter D
drawings like that
data set,
either.
you'll
you know?
notice there's no characters with
I've
full
seen that
beards.
similar
Because there aren't
style.
any
I mean,
characters with full
Castlevania
beards in
kinda
the
looks
movie.
like that.
And this is
Yeah,
a problem
like-
actually when we first made the model, and it tried to represent me. Sometimes I'd have a mustache, sometimes I'd have mutton chops. It'd be all over the place. So I generated a bunch of pictures of me. Some of them looked good, most of them didn't. But I took the good ones and I re-added them back
So
into
they're
the data set,
retraining the
and then
model.
trained the model
Like,
one
this
more
guy's
time.
got a
and made
beard,
one.
sure.
Nico Perringer in the style of Vampire Hunter D.
But see
There
that
it
at this
is.
point,
me
it's like,
as
all
an
right,
anime
dude.
man.
Now,
and notice
like,
it's got the costume details correct. It's got my face features correct, my beard. It's the same character.
and the
every single
stills
time.
look
at least
pretty
consistent
good.
enough every single
That
frame.
one doesn't.
So we got the model done, and now we can use this for all the shots.
that one looks really bad.
So I've just received a fantastic plate from Nico. What I'm gonna do now is take the individual images and we're gonna run each one through Stable Diffusion to get an animated character. You have our positive prompts.
This
which
is
are
pretty much what I
Van
did,
Hunt
but
D
without a green
aesthetic
screen.
style cell animation of Nico Perringer, man, beard, profile, fist, hand. But we also have this negative prompt section, which can steer us away from certain things, like detail,
Yeah, the
intricate,
negative
lazy
prompt is
eye,
the important
photography, render, CGI. These are all the
Deformed
things that
is
we
one
want to
of them.
avoid coming out. And then basically there's a bunch of freaking sliders and it's really boring. And there's all that stuff that Nico goes into way more depth over on CorridorDigital.com because we don't want to bog you guys down here with the really silly specific stuff. But there's a bunch of processes that are laying on top of that image to image process, and the output is this. There is a really cool animated frame of Nico. There is actually an interpretive element to what the AI is doing. There's blue shading on the fur on his shoulders and basically two-tone shading in his face. It's a really incredible process that we've gotten way too used to at this point. We kind of forget how
Yeah, the
crazy
lighting
this technology is.
flipping around is-
So what's great
That is
that
crazy,
we can
though,
just now
still.
run the entire image sequence
Yeah.
with this prompt
Like,
and
just
these
put
settings.
the idea of
It's
putting
working
you
really
into-
well. But you know, there's a few janky frames,
Yeah.
like his head just pops in for a second and then pops back out.
Yeah, that's
Little
crazy.
inconsistencies, but they only exist on a single frame basis. You know, if only there was a way to kind of remove a little bit of this flicker and smooth out this sequence into a nice, consistent character.
I bet there is a way.
All right, so Dean's giving me this whole image sequence now. Let's check it out.
Oh god.
Not bad.
Yeah.
It's a little flickery, but like it's consistent, right? You
It's
can
still-
see the character, you
still,
can see
like,
some of the
even the
mouth
fuck-up
moving.
parts is
All right, so I'm
kinda-
gonna take the shot, I'm gonna pop it open in
It looks
Fusion here
bad.
and resolve. So the next thing we need to add is the deflicker. There's two different modes.
So
one for
just put
time
a
lapse and one for
effect on it.
fluorescent
Put
lights.
another effect.
When you turn on the
effect
fluorescent
on
light
it. Put a
deflicker,
filter on
check
it.
out the difference. Much better.
Yeah, that does look better.
And if it's not good enough, here's how I fix it. Copy, Paste. So now we have all these flickers.
I do that on
Look
Ableton
how
all
stable
the
my
time.
face and my costume.
Like, oh, this
The next
sounds
step
cool.
is just to pull a green
I
screen
want more
key
of that.
and remove the background. And then finally, reduce the frame rate from 24 frames per second to 12 to look a little bit more like animation and remove even more of that flickering feeling.
Wow.
Now that we have an anime man, we need an anime world for him to live in. That's where Sam comes in.
my mind.
So
That does look
very
pretty
early on in
good,
the process,
honestly.
We're thinking, how do we get
It's not, like,
consistency in these
perfect,
shots?
but-
We want one environment, one location. So I'm using
This is
an
crazy.
environment in Unreal Engine
Unreal
as
Engine.
the foundation for
This is
everything.
why you need
And
to
just
get
like the
that,
video,
man.
how we're taking a video still frame.
Dude, I've seen
and then
people
applying
say
a style
that that's
to
how they make
I'm
their
taking a render
mangas,
from Unreal
like
and applying
full.
a style to
Yeah,
that.
dude.
They-
Unreal
they
Engine, when
just,
I started
like-
playing with it and trying to make a game or something, like you know, it's
That's
yeah, spam.
That's-
yeah.
people are just using that to make like mangas now. They just like or comics. They just like create a. They're like it's funny. They're like all you got to do to make a comic is just go to Unreal Engine, make an entire city with Unreal Engine, and then just find the camera angle you want and put your people in there. And it's like
Yeah, Unreal is
It-
awesome. And I
it
think
seems-
Unreal
well,
actually
that's the
added
thing.
an AI tool in it, like a generator in it. And I think it's not that great of one yet, but it's like
it's
Yeah.
crazy because it's like
Unreal. I need to
it
download it
seems
again. I
easier.
had it and played around with it, like just messing around with like stuff and like landscapes. I didn't get far at all. I just started designing like landscapes and and trees and like figured out
I just think
how to make like brick. Yeah, it was very basic stuff, but I want to get back into it.
because they're like it. At one hand, it's like yeah, that does seem a lot easier, but it's also like when they go through all the steps, you're like, dude, that's almost just as much as just like drawing it.
Well, what he
Like,
did, I don't know if he
it's
said it yet, but
interesting
he just
because it's like it's easier, but it's also it's easier, but you still have to learn just as much. Just you're just learning a different thing.
yeah. What like he did is like they bought like some bought or maybe it was free. I don't know that because people I did this myself. It's like you can download like there's free like games or environments you can get and they look pretty good. And he just found one that was like, yeah, this is good. We're gonna use it, and then fed it into the AI to give it the style.
I thought about looking
And he has
into
like
it 'cause I was
cameras
like,
all over the
does seem easy.
room. That's how he like.
Yeah.
There's cameras all in that room. You just place at the angles you want, and now you got all your
that's
backgrounds.
the cool thing is like you just make the world and then you're like, all right, so now that's there. So whatever scene I'm at, I just move the camera there.
Dude,
and I
I'm
just,
not gonna
like,
lie,
snap the
man.
picture and there's the background.
Almost think it would be kind of cool to stream us messing around with some stuff like that. Like
What?
recording video, trying to make our own version of something like this.
Dude, we can barely run this show.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, trying to run this show.
Look at me,
and,
I'm like literally lagging right now.
dude, what are you talking about? Stop moving. Nah, I don't know. I guess I need to run it on I need to have two I need to have two
need
good
4
desktops.
computers.
I need
You need
I
2
need
more
4 computers.
computers.
We need a whole control room.
A wall of computers. You have one wall that's green screen and one wall that's
I
just,
mean, I'm
like,
not gonna lie though. The
computers.
times like in like professional setting, most of the time it's like it literally is try to have a computer for each dedicated task. Like this
Dude,
one
it would
runs
be
this,
cool to,
this one
like-
runs that, this one runs that.
Yeah.
Like trying to run video, like when I was DJing one time, I was like, oh yeah, you can apparently run lights and video through the record box program, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Like that's like
Nails.
I'll have another computer running Resolume is what I'll do. Like,
Dude,
that's
it
not-
would be cool to like have like episodes where we rotoscope ourselves and have episodes where we have like the 2D freaking VTuber models and
Oh,
like
yeah. But see, and that's
like-
the thing is like you can kind of like, man, I don't know, like you can. It can basically, I kind of get like some things like it's kind of like it's like, you know, but like when you're going into this depth, like I think when you're using it at like the AI didn't just create this, you know, from nothing. You know, it was literally
Yeah.
like it actually was just a part of the a big puzzle piece, you know. Now it was a
Yeah.
big part, I will say, because that's like
it's
you
like
know,
it's like the glue that's taking all the puzzle pieces.
yeah. It's like we
together.
have cameras, we have a green screen, we have some lights, and we have some
First-
computers. How can
first-
we put ourselves in this crazy castle and all this stuff? because you can't do it in real life. So it's like,
yeah. So the future for the show is to AI rotoscope ourselves. Then we get an Unreal
eventually
Engine
we're going to
background.
replace us. We're not going to be here.
Then
it's going to be a 24/7 stream hosted by our AI
GPT, whatever
versions of our
talking.
I
for
honestly
us.
do want to turn
AI
into
voices.
make a Kyle be AI.
And then we just like turn this show into 2 AIs talking over each other simultaneously.
Just double.
Yeah.
But all
And
right,
then
let's
we can
keep.
just hang
Man,
out-
we're
then we
taking
can just hang
forever
out
for
and
this
chat.
video.
That allows us to have consistency.
Video's going
We can
forever.
go close up. We can do wide angles. All the same objects in the scene stay consistent.
Dude, I
Here's
should
our
just do- I
cathedral
should figure
here.
out
I think it was called the Gothic
Unreal Engine.
Interior
Dude, yeah, like
Mega
I
Pack.
wouldn't mind doing it like on
Because drawing comics takes a long, like it takes like it literally takes like 3 months for me to get a 33
Yeah,
page
dude, I would
comic out.
I would definitely.
And I already want to start a fucking new one. I'm already like, no, I want to do a new one. Because you showed me some shit that helped me make an idea work. So now I'm like, I got to start a new one now. But like, that's too much. I got to start using AI and computers.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The stuff is cool, and I do think there's a point where it's like, I don't know if that's like cool to do. Like, there's people that are like somebody that's upset about the fact of like AI using their artwork to train on or something, and these people will come and like DM them like AI that's directly trained on their artwork, like stuff like that. That's messed up. Like if somebody's like, "Hey, don't use my work for that purpose,"
people are already
like they're
AI
using
for
like
evil.
that's
Great.
like and that's in general. You shouldn't be harassing
That's
people like
crazy,
that.
dude.
That's just not.
Oh,
that's
you don't
not
want us to do
good in
this?
general.
I'm gonna DM you a
Yeah.
bunch of pictures of me doing this because there's no legal repercussion. I'm a psychopath.
Yeah, but
What
when you're using it to do things like this, I'm kind of like that's pretty. Like
no, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, like because that's what I
no,
started
this is-
doing.
this is, like,
because I watched
legitimately cool. I don't
videos
think
and
this
then
is
I was
pretty
like,
cool.
wait a
But,
second, like I can kind of like, it's not just like type in some text and turn out an image. Like you can do that too, but you can also like I watched somebody turn it into 3D models for a video game. Like used it for like and how to make it 3D, and like. I was kind of like, man, that's crazy. Like they were like, they just typed in sword like this, blah, 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 printed out a couple. They took the ones they liked and kind of collaged the part, like the handle they liked the most, the little swirly part they liked the most. They saw one of them had a diamond in it. So they just cropped that out in Photoshop and put it in the image.
Yeah.
And then they collaged it, exported that out as an image, fed it back. And then it was mostly just ones like they wanted. And then they took it into Unreal Engine and turned it into a 3D object and like gave it like shape and stuff. And I'm just like, man, that's like, it's hard to deny that that's like, they created that, like,
yeah.
Cause at that point it's like, you didn't get to this 3D model from like, AI. Now when it's doing that too, but like, there's a point where it's like, well, I mean, even then it's like, I don't know, man. It's cool though. It is a cool way to do things.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
The moment I saw the screenshot of this environment on the marketplace, I knew it was perfect.
So yeah,
I've done a little tweaking, redone some of the lighting, little modifications here and there to make it match the vibe a little bit better. It is just bleeding with sweet, intricate, detailed Gothic style.
That's cool.
And it's just ripe for taking cool pictures of. I have a camera placed for every shot in the piece. And if we go back out and look at that,
Oh
look
my
at all
God.
these cameras. Every single one of these cameras is a different angle for a different background plate. So shot 250, it's waist up shot, maybe something like here-ish. Yeah, there we go. So I'm not even gonna render these out with like the normal renderer. I'm literally just gonna take screenshots of this stuff.
This is the crazy part too.
Screenshot.
You don't have to
All right, it's a whip pan.
export out high definition images because you're just feeding it to an AI to give it like a shade and stuff. So it's like it can be low resolution. It's because it's gonna do the rest.
Break
let's
it
pan
down
over.
anyway.
Yeah.
Boop. Pan over.
That's why he's like, I'm just
And maybe
taking
one more just for
screenshots so
kicks.
you save on memory.
All right, so
you don't have to buy as
now
much.
I've gotten 4 images. Stable Diffusion kind of takes it from there. Let's go to my handy dandy prompt sheet of all the different little prompts I've tried out. Believe this one right here.
Prompt
expressive oil
sheets. Oh
painting,
my
dark,
God.
beautiful Gothic cathedral interior, hyper detailed brush strokes, expressive Japanese 1990s anime movie background, oil painting, matte painting. Negative prompts, blurry. I'm all set. Let's take a look. All right, so that's basically
Wow.
what the
Looks
process looks like for all
good.
these background plates. Now that these background plates are processed, the shot has everything it needs to
That's
get
pretty.
composited.
That's
Basically,
that's
in
something
anime,
I didn't
there's
think
no 3D
about.
moves. It's all either
Use an
painted
Unreal Engine to
backgrounds
get
or
camera
cell
angles and feed it
animated
in, and now you got
characters. So we wanted to
backgrounds
stay
for all
true to
your
that. So for these shots, we have a
Like you
script
could do
was
that
created
even
by
if you
Nico that
like
has everything we
didn't
need.
animate yourself. You just put yourself on a green screen. We literally could like act out like real sets. That's like just a green screen background of whatever we want, you know.
Yeah.
And instead of like trying to search the web or having to hand draw like each individual background, you can kind of make it up from there. You could even like hand draw it, then feed it in, and to give it whatever look you want or something a little different, you know. I don't know.
It's got lens
Kinda
distortion, it's got glows, it's got light rays, it's got all this
Ton of
cool stuff.
effects.
Basically, we just drop our foreground, our background, and the final output is pretty close to what you want. And you just go in and animate little things and add a little bit of flourish. Here you can see I have the backgrounds that Sam made, and I actually just went
This
into
was cool.
Photoshop and blended them together so you can see the edges kind of smooth out. I took those backgrounds and I just literally animated them scrolling past. And so you can see as well, we've added some directional blur, some lens blur, and then we land on these two windows and do a final little push in. So once we drop Nico on top of that, you can see there's this very dynamic effect that's achieved just by literally moving 2D images behind him. On top of that, we have this cool plugin called Light Rays, which creates these beautiful rays of light, and we're using the plate of Nico to actually obscure those rays. So it really marries Nico to the environment. What we're also adding to emphasize this motion, we took some of the 3D elements of the candelabras from the Unreal scene. We isolated them, and we also turned them into kind of animated candelabras. So you can see here, as the camera's moving, you just whip the candelabra by as if it's in the foreground to kind of
that's cool.
emphasize the idea that the camera is literally orbiting around.
Honestly,
in
I do
classic
like
anime
watching their
fashion.
video.
To
I was already
really emphasize
following
the motion,
them when
bringing these
this
speed
popped up,
lines.
and then I saw
right here at
people
the end, we
talking
have
about
a couple more anime lines to emphasize
And I hadn't
the
watched it
point,
yet,
because
so-
that's a very important character moment. He's challenging my character. So all of that together with a little bit of lens effects. And then the final piece are these glows, which kind of emulate a film camera, because that's how anime used to be shot back in the days. Animation cells would be filmed through a film camera. So we try to emulate those glows. And after all that, we get a sweet shot that I can send back to Nico, and he can drop it right in the edit.
One thing I want to talk about is the democratization of this process. This is a situation here where we're looking at a piece of software that's free, that anyone has access to. A process here that we're sharing openly with everyone, because everyone's openly shared knowledge with us, with everyone. And the way this technology is developing, I want to be able to create really cool things. But the only way I can create really cool things is with the help of other people helping.
That's kind of
make-
cool to note too, that like to get the suit look that they wanted, they used just tape and like colored.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And
that-
it's like
they're-
that's like kind of cool
yeah.
because normally you couldn't just take a costume and just use tape. You could, but you know it's hard to do that. But with this, well, you're gonna feed it through this anyway. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be. You have to let it know. You
Close
have to
enough.
give the AI enough to know a little bit of what you're trying to go for. You know, you got to give
Yeah.
it the idea somehow. And that's the crazy part, is like you got to give it that. You got to let it know what you want, you know.
Yeah.
Make the technology to create those really cool things. And so, since we've learned and are utilizing an open source program with a lot of contributions from people, I want to give back and I want to contribute our knowledge and put it out there so that you can go
Deflicker
and
is
make
the-
animations
is
and people
one
can
of the
experiment
keys.
and improve upon the
the
process,
key.
helping all of us
Training to
get
get on
So,
yourself.
in this video, I'm trying to make a point of really going
That
through the
was my
process.
only thing about it too. When I hit record or like send through that, like when I sent my video of myself through Stable Diffusion, I was like, man, I'm a part of it now. Like if I hit this, like there's no question, which there's plenty of pictures of me on the internet, I'm sure at somewhere in some of the databases I'm in it already. But you know, it's like, well, I'm definitely in it now if I do this. You know,
Process in a way that's interesting.
but I don't know. That's
but I'm not
the thing
necessarily
is
getting to a
with this. The
click-by-click
crazy thing is it's running on locally. Like the other ones, it definitely is. Like the ones that's ran through like Midjourney, the one that's ran through Discord, it's definitely learning off of the results. Like it's just feeding back into itself at this point, which is cool. Kind of crazy. It's like just learning and getting better and better. But like Stable Diffusion is different because it is locally ran. Like it's ran on my computer, and I can kind of like do it however I want. I need to update it. I haven't used it since it kind of came out. It's probably like all out of date and everything.
Tutorial. For those of you who want that, we actually have that on our website, corridordigital.com. We'll have a link in the description below. And of course, with everybody's support, that's why this video is even possible. That's why we're able to take, 4 or 5 people and spend 2 months just working on anime out loud, rock, paper, scissors. It's thanks to all the support from the members at corridordigital.com.
4 or 5, but that's still impressive.
With practice, we've got this process dialed in. Shot by shot, we just started getting faster and better. And at this point, we are blowing through the piece.
The crazy thing is like, this is something like, if we both had a green screen, we could technically do this. It wouldn't be as crazy because it's different when you have 4 people like with you and stuff, and like all that. But like this can be done, and I wouldn't mind like getting involved. It would still take a lot of work, obviously, and time, but it's something I would like to mess around with at least.
It's just good because it just cuts out so many like physical resources that you need to obtain. Like you don't, like you said, like you could just make these little costumes out of like paper and tape and stuff, and then then it makes it into that. Yeah, and like
that looks pretty good.
To, like make a background. The
teeth look kind of weird.
A set. He got like 2 sets of teeth.
Yeah,
I saw sometimes.
But see, like, what if you just take like you kind of like, even if you're not that good, just go in Photoshop, pick the color right beside that, and just fill that in. Like might not be the right shading you want for right there, but either way, it's like that's it better than leaving it like that.
Well, I wonder if that's even supposed to be teeth. That's the thing. Is that even supposed to be teeth, or is that light hitting his?
Yeah. Thumb? See, I don't know, because that's another thing. Is like, I don't know. It's because it's basing it off the lighting of when they took the video. That's why they were like playing out. That's what they're saying with the anime like thing is like most of it, and it is true. Like some have some crazy lighting effects and shading. But it is kind of hard to like really mimic real life lighting. But when you're feeding an AI little video where you can pick where the lighting is shining and it will just naturally shine on your face in the right place, it can get it.
It is. The more you look at it, the trippier it gets. Like when you first look at it, you're like, yeah, that's a person. But then you start looking and you're like, why is like why has he got the one line in his under his, like his bottom lip split in 2? His hair looks like it's like kind of not really a part of his head. It almost looks like it's like a separate image.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, like the more
thing
I started to really look at it, and then I was like, "Whoa, it's so weird." Because it's like, I don't know, it's trippy because it's like it clearly looks like a person. Like it's a good drawing of a person. Yeah. But then it's all these little things of like, what's going on there? And that's how all this AI art's been. You're like, yeah, that's a person, but you look and you're like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
What am I looking at?
But the thing is like, I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't matter because it totally does. But it's like another thing is like when you look at the stills, it can look pretty bad at some parts, and it can look good in some parts. But it's like, but when you see it moving, if it's moving quick enough, it's not too bad. Like if the eye or something looks weird for a second, it's like it's almost like you notice it looks bad, but it's also like it's not that distracting, and you kind of get used to it. You just kind of get used to, well, it's this type of style, like kind of what you're saying about the person on, like, what is it?
It's like its own personal
behavior, whatever.
Oh yeah, Joel Haver.
Yeah, like it's kind of like, it's like you just get it that this is the style. What?
I just had a Joel Haver bit go through my head.
It's incredibly exciting. Now, most people in the office haven't actually seen much of this yet. So we're going to get it wrapped up here with the sound and music and all that good stuff. I'm going to show it to them. Let's see what they think. Let's see if we can blow their minds.
It's done. We theoretically have everything dropped in, haven't watched it yet, just exported it, and everybody's going to watch it with us.
I think it's safe to say that most of us here have not seen anything.
I've seen one completed shot, and it absolutely blew my mind, and I can't wait to see the rest of it.
I have not seen it with the sound design, and that is what I'm super excited for, because Kevin Senzaki is so good at what he does, and man, mwah.
I'm here for Kevin.
Damn right you are.
I will say the sound design was good. Very good. Sound design was incredible. I'm not gonna lie, sound is very important for any type.
That's
of
the scene.
movie.
Like his teeth are just like yellow for some reason.
yeah. Stop there. Yeah. But see, that's
Like,
something like the thing is like you could fix that, or I feel like I could fix that. It might not look perfect, but I could make it look better than that. You know, and like the kind of weird red down here.
Yeah.
Like it, I get it. I think it was trying to be like it's under like in gums, I guess, but it's not really. It needs to be moved down a little bit, I'd say, at least. And this is maybe too big, actually. I don't know.
It also doesn't like go with the like your gums.
We're like critiquing it now, but I mean, hey, that's like. But the thing is, while it's moving, like I bet you, right when I hit play, it'll switch back to white. To a different. But yeah, there we go. The next time goes away. Oh, there it switches again right there. And that's the thing, they added in all those effects, like they had to.
Yeah, they added all that stuff.
It feels like a real anime in real life. And that's what it is.
There's like all sorts of wacky AI jank that creeps in.
And
but
see, that's another thing. Like you can go into AI, like if you're like, I want an explosion, just go in there and you can tell it like explosion. Or you can kind of draw one to feed it into with the prompt. Like kind of draw a rough sketch, and it will get close and it'll make it look like you want it to. And it'll kind of like, you can take that, then feed it into the shot, and then feed that over your person and make it, you know, you can kind of use it. It's kind of like you can use it as like a collage tool almost, and like make it blend things together. You're like, I like this picture, but I want this thing in it and this thing in it, and you can just do that in Photoshop and then throw it back. That's how I was messing with it a lot.
You're so used to it that it doesn't feel like jank anymore?
The song that Sam found for the ending, Fender made this amazing shot where my fist comes down and there's just this anime blast that happens, and then you just have this drum roll coming. Yeah, it just all melds and then you just get kind of lost in it.
Are we gonna get another one? Dean's coming back to seek vengeance.
At the end of all the anime videos, we always do one of those montages of like, and now here's all the things that happen afterwards, which are like supposed to be like the end credit joke, but this one is the ultimate fast forward a whole season in this montage, and it subconsciously makes you go, oh yeah, there's a whole story here. But we were just like spitballing random shots.
If we get to do another one, it's entirely up to CorridorDigital.com subscribers. We have a tutorial on how we do this whole thing, plus a whole bunch of other cool stuff. Want to check it out and support us?
Pretty cool.
Help us make more.
Yeah. So what did you think about that? Like, I guess we've talked a lot about this. We've been on this for a while now. But
yeah. No, it's definitely cool.
Yeah, that's the thing that was kind of. This was a video that kind of got me about it. Like, I am still weird about the training and how that works, actually. Like, if it can be, like, basically, if it's proven, and I'm pretty sure it is, that, like, the images of all these other people that it was trained on is not in the final product that, like, I'm downloading on my computer, then it's hard to say that that's, you know what I mean? Because it's like, at that point, because that would be the problem, is like, well, I took your original image, traced over it, and, you know, whatever. You know, stuff like that. Like, that could be a problem. That's where issues start lying. But that's the thing. If that's the original image, like, at what point does that, you know? Because, like, would you say that, like, if you're looking at a picture and drawing something similar, like, with your own character in it, but it's in their, like, similar style, like, did you consider that, like, or practicing drawing somebody's style till you get it close enough and then doing your own thing with it? It's like, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people do that, and I definitely don't think that should be, you know, frowned upon. If anything, that should be. I think sampling each other is what makes the world go round, you know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't want people to, like, lose their jobs and stuff. But I mean, I felt the same way about, like, people in, like, factories and stuff too. Like, even though those jobs suck, that's still somebody that lost their job. Like, it doesn't matter whether you enjoyed your job or not. You know, it was feeding you and keeping you alive.
Well, I think, like, a big thing to remember is, like, that's the thing. Like, let's say you are, like, an artist who can draw really well and you want to make art, right? Like, you got to stop looking at AI as stealing your job and then just be like, well, I can just feed an AI my art, and then my art can be a movie like these guys just made.
Yeah.
It almost like cuts your work effort in half, and it can also open doors for you to like do bigger projects. Like
Yeah.
you have the drawing aspect down, so now you can make an AI that generates art that's exactly how you want it, like your own.
Like you
know?
literally just feed it your already done work, and
that's kind of what I'm thinking right now.
add
I'm
more
like, I could
into
just
it and
feed
keep
it
feeding it, recycle, and eventually you're about to have a model like that's trained on you. Oh, like it almost could like capture. It could technically like you could. It's not really, but it like can capture your
then, like let's say like. If you're an artist and you want to write comics, but you're like, geez, it's so hard to, the drawing is so time consuming. It's like, well, if you can just draw enough models that the AI can just draw them any way you want, then you could just focus on writing it. You could focus on making more stories. Like, it can take a lot of time away from a very time consuming aspect for artists.
When a lot of this was kind of coming about, and I was talking about it, I was talking about it with some people, and they were an artist, like going to school for it and stuff, and they said that like to them, like I wanted their opinion because it's like, yeah, you're something, and they were like, to be honest, like I see some problems with it for sure, like like ethical concerns, like because like some of the troll stuff, things like that, deep fakes such as that, things like that is there's definitely negative things, but it's like on a legal precedent, and also they were saying that they could see use of it, like just simply like seeing something you want to draw, like basically instead of just finding like it's kind of similar, like I want to draw a samurai in a forest or whatever, and you can just Google search that and look at other people's artwork of it, or you can type that in a prompt on this and you can then see that image and be like, I like that, but I don't like the way that the horse is turned. So you can fix it from there, be like, turn the horse around, type stuff like that, make it front facing or from this angle or whatever. And it will do that. Sometimes it gets it wrong, but it's like, sometimes it gets it right. Perfect. So it's like, but that can give you an idea before you start drawing. Cause like before that, you would just have to draw it. And then by the you spent time drawing it, then like, that's not what I wanted. Actually, that's not the angle. It doesn't look as good as I thought. Like, like that's what they were saying, like, is the way that they were using it. So I'm like, that's pretty impressive. And that's a cool way to do it. Like that's actually a cool thought about it too. It's like more like you're not even using it in the final product whatsoever, but it's like more of like a idea generator. Like, kind of like you come up with an idea, get it to give you some like visualizations of it. Cause I mean, it's just the truth is like some people can't don't really see things in their head necessarily. I kind of do, but I'm not like, I saw somebody talking about it. Like some people can see like straight up images in their head, but like for me, I see things, but it's not quite, but there's definitely people that are like, no, I don't, when I hear a word, I don't picture it in my head. And, and that kind of like, it makes it hard for like, there's people like that do want to be artists and they do fine. They do great. I'm not saying that, but I am saying,
you know what's crazy? There's a lot of good artists that actually have that. I've seen, aphantasia. People with aphantasia can't, like their brains don't see the images. Like if you're like, think of an apple, like.
Yeah, that's the test that I saw.
Like they literally don't see anything. Like, so there's a guy, Ross Draws. He's a streamer. I think he has aphantasia, but he's like a really good artist. And I've seen other people who are really good artists on the internet, and they're just like, I have aphantasia. I don't see images in my head. And people are like you would think that like inhibits their ability to draw, but I think it almost is like I'm not saying it is an advantage or a disadvantage, but like I could see how in its own way it is a helpful thing, because like instead of getting distracted in your brain about like what you're seeing and how to draw that, you're just like you're just seeing what it is and you just draw it. You know what I mean? Like, because your head, even if you have like I have a pretty clear image of things in my head when I visualize them, but even that is kind of like it's almost like I'm trying to draw AI art. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's
how,
dude,
you know?
and
Like
that's
AI
something that I
art
didn't
has
like.
that like
I didn't want to
that
say
weird-
earlier, but like, dude, like, what if we found out like how it is drawing or creating these things is kind of like similar to what we do in our head, like take noise and turn it into it's a thing. And it's kind of moving because that's what I honestly that's kind of how I see. When I think of an apple, it's like there's an apple and I visualize it, but it's not consistent.
Because like at a moment you're like I'm thinking of an apple, but then in your brain you're like, is it red? Is it yellow? Is it green? So the apple in your head is like red. It's got red and it's got yellow. And it's got spots, and the spots are kind of moving because you've seen spots on apples that are different. So it's like this. It's like AI art looks a lot like dreams to me. Like it's like stuff's bleeding in and like stuff's melting, and it's like
and it
there.
kind of is.
You know what it is, but if you try to focus on it too hard, you're like, that doesn't make sense. Why is the laptop in the wall? Like,
remember
what the hell's going on?
Remember that old like dream, like Google? I think Google did it or something. The dream thing that was like the first time of this. It was like AI, like everything had like eyes, and it almost made everything have a nose and like stuff. Like,
wait,
this was like years ago too. Like this was the first thing like that.
It. Whoa. Oh, I can't remember it, but I feel like I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but either that, like, it's just crazy to think that that's kind of how that was. It did feel like a dream, and like I think that's why they called it. I think it was called something dream or whatever. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy how far all this stuff has come. Like, it really is. And I think it's just gonna get crazier. And like, there's a part of me is like, yeah, I think we're gonna have to see what like legal like situation, like it's gonna be some lawsuits are gonna have to be settled, and we're gonna figure out what decisions judges make, because that'll kind of make, like, right now, like they were saying that AI images can't be copyrighted.
You can't be copyrighted.
But it was for that specific case. That's the problem with copyright.
I don't think that's a lot of people's problems. I think people's problem is that like AI doesn't care about your copyright. Like AI doesn't care if it copyrights if your stuff is copyrighted.
Yeah.
It'll still steal it or take it or learn from it. And then like at the end of the day, it's like AI is just a tool. And like you have to look at like you have to look at like what people are doing with it. Like, you know? Like
at the end of the day, you can't stop it completely, because like even if
and it's also
even if it's
going
like
away.
made illegal or uncopyrightable or blah 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 whatever in the United States, it's not.
You have to get a license.
Else, you know, like
I have an AI license. I have a license to generate AI images. I know the proper protocols and procedures.
There's just a point where it's like, you know, like I don't like that. I don't like the fact that like it is like, and I've seen people use it, like draw a picture like this person, and then they'd send it to that person as some famous artist that's like, and it kind of looks like it's like their work basically that this person trained an AI on, and like and stuff, and like I definitely understand that, and I don't like people. I don't think that's cool to some extent, but then it's like, I mean, I don't know, man. I think it depends on like the legal precedent, because it's always like I don't necessarily agree with all that, but I'm also like, what in the hell can you do about it?
Yeah.
Like, really though, like because it's already getting better, and it's gonna get to a point where it is almost unrecognizable. Like, I'm kind of glad these guys said who they trained their AI on, the anime that they used. I'm glad that they said that, because if you didn't, I might not have known or enough to say that, like, not that like it could be held at grounds like for legal precedent. It probably could, because they said it now, but it's like there's a chance for that. But it's also like, you know, how would you know if they didn't say it? And you almost don't want people to just not like keep that hidden from you too. So it's like, and I mean, it has the telltale signs. Like if I saw that, I would still be like, yeah, that's probably AI, but I wouldn't know whose work it was like feeding off of. Yeah, you know, I wouldn't be able to. Some people probably would, and that's like, you know, that would be how it would happen. But I do think there should be some problems with that. Like, if people are like, that's the thing, is somebody, it's kind of like how it already is. It's like, you can't just stop somebody. Well, YouTube tries to, but like, you can't just necessarily stop somebody from trying to upload or stream something that they're not supposed to, whatever, live on these platforms. But you can retroactively be like, oh, yeah, you're banned, or mute it, take you off stream, you know, give you a strike, whatever. And that's probably how it's gonna have to be. It's gonna be counteractive, which sucks, but it's also like it's just how you can't necessarily. It's hard to like stop get somebody for murder until they've done the murder. It's like you got to completely commit the crime post copyrighted material before you can do something about it. It's just how it has to work.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't. That's the thing. Is like I definitely understand the concerns and the problems because I have them too. Because I think it's more just like, like I understand people that don't want to take pictures of themselves or their kids or stuff because it's like the internet gets scraped all the time. So it's like, it's like I don't know if that I have problems with all type of scraping, to be honest, not just artwork stuff. Yeah, I think that was it. Maybe. I think it's gotten better or something. I don't know. I think they've been updating it, but that was like a while back, and it didn't look that great, but it was kind of cool. And it's like just looking at things now, it's wild.
I'm just trying to remember it. It's bothering me now because now I remember like looking at it and like it was a long time ago.
Oh yeah, did we want to watch any of these other videos?
What else we got? How long have we been going? How long has the show been? 5 hours?
At 2 hours and 11 minutes.
2 hours and 11 minutes.
Honestly, I gotta go to the bathroom again.
IckyBob's gotta go to the bathroom.
Here, I'm gonna leave you to him for a second. All right, is that okay?
Well, I gotta go. Put the music on. Hit it with a song.
Here, I'll
Crowd, what do you think?
I was still muted.
Am I still muted?
No, you're good.
Hello, can you hear me?
But man, yeah. It's crazy stuff, man. And I honestly, like, I would like to play around with it more. And, like, I don't know. It's pretty cool, man.
I need to look up how to do that Adobe. That reminded me that I've seen people do that. And when I first saw it, I was like, man, that alone, make a comic with Adobe.
You mean Unreal Engine?
Unreal, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's free, man. Let's get it. Like, the new one, it's hard. I'm not going to lie. It's hard. It was hard for me to run on this old computer, but
I remember just looking at it and being like, man, that seems cool, but it also just seems like, is it really that, like, learning everything that I would have to learn and do this and then do that and all these steps? And I'm like,
3D modeling
is it easier
cool
to just
too,
draw
man.
it? But, like, it would be easier than drawing it, and it would just be like, because, like, just for backgrounds alone, just to use it for scenes, where you're just like, here's the forest. I only had to make it once, and now I can just move anywhere within it.
And you can make a video game.
I have a video game idea.
Dude, well, I think it would be. I mean, it's so hard to make a video game, but
I know.
I'm not gonna lie. Stuff like this can possibly speed up the process.
Like and subscribe so we can make video games.
I do think it would be cool to mess around. The hard part would be us trying to work on it together. That would be the hard thing. Like we'd have to just trade back and forth files from Unreal Engine. But there's a lot of free like backgrounds, or there's a lot of free like files that you can use. And of course it's good to build it yourself, but it's like what they did. They just paid for one, and like they had a cathedral thing, and they used that to turn into a background.
I mainly just want to use it for backgrounds.
Yeah, that's all I would really. I mean, of course, I'd like to make a video game and do all kinds of stuff, but it's just good to have a 3D like setting, because I mean, you got to think about it. It's hard to think of like angles and like and draw like this angle. Like you might know, like this is a good angle to have, but it's hard to think of like really image that. Like really, it kind of is.
You got to remember everything.
But all you got to do is just
so you're
move
like,
a camera around in a 3D world and then find the angle and then feed it through some AI. Or you don't even have to feed it through AI. You could technically get that angle of what you want, of the background you want, and then draw it or trace over it. Because I mean, that's fine. I don't see a problem with that. In all honesty,
well, I don't think anything's. You want to watch another video?
We can if you want to.
AI. What else we got?
It was this one. Let's see. This one.
Oh yeah, this one's like.
Oh crap!
We're watching it again.
Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum. Processing.
Is this out now?
I don't know. When I went to this, it was a very small like YouTube channel, with, like 3 videos.
Where we could feel him moving.
Very much in development.
It was very cool to see him moving.
That's crazy.
Very active. I remember.
It is doing it.
Yeah. Dude,
like, it turns your videos.
I'm not gonna lie, man.
room.
The future's about to be crazy.
Like that's the real thing from Black Mirror. Except you use your phone, they don't have it fully in your brain.
Or
yet.
VR.
Yeah, it's like pretty much you video something with your phone.
You got Neuralink coming out. Not coming out yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, another thing I was gonna like with like what we were like the other like. Wait, what was I even? Never mind.
You sounded like the kid. Do you ever have a dream when you
Dang it, man! I forgot what I was gonna say.
Exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic, loneliness is now a serious issue for 61% of young adults in America and 36% of the total population. More people than possibly ever before in history, driven by a combination of technological and political factors, feel a sense of depression and anxiety as a result of crippling loneliness. But the ramifications of this extend far beyond what many of us tend to believe. According to a 2020 scientific study published by Nature, acute social isolation, resulting in extreme loneliness, evokes similar brain activity to what is caused by severe hunger. According to APS, Association for Psychological Science, loneliness and social isolation contribute to significantly higher mortality risk, which nearly doubled from 26 to 45% when it came to seniors.
Yeah, I'm just like,
oh wait, the past few years.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I've looked over there sometimes and I'm like, is he moving or is he frozen?
Replica is an AI chat.
Not to this time, but
other like advertisements for this product are visible
all
across social media, and the sales pitch typically revolves around a young, artistically stylized female who's dressed in somewhat revealing clothing.
A little delayed.
Sometimes the text will quite literally show her saying, "Hey babe, are you lonely?" Or even variations of the distracted boyfriend.
I haven't watched this video.
Pink hearts that openly implies, on some level at least, a romantic interest.
What is
now,
this?
I should clarify that there are many self-professed AI chatbots in existence that have appeared during the pandemic. But
this is a chatbot that lets you build your own like little sim and everything. And basically people were like, and you can like, you can have like romantic relationships. And like it'll text back. And people were like full on like dating and like wanting to marry these people. and it got so bad that apparently the website made it where they won't react in a romantic way anymore. And then there were like Reddit threads of people being like, I feel like my husband's been neutered. I feel like my partner has been neutered because they like stripped a part of them away almost, you know, like they interacted with these things so much that like when they took it away, they felt like distressed. People were feeling distressed because they just like lost a part of their personality as an AI chatbot, and people were real upset about it. And so now you can pay extra for like an adult version of it that'll basically chat box romantic stuff with you and like sexual things, and like because like then they took it away, that it like PG'd it pretty much. So this is a video of this thing and how people got really attached to them. Which this is, I don't know. See, this is I just thought it was interesting because it was very like, it's interesting to see how like people are interacting with these things.
Oh yeah,
because you've talked to Chatbox and you've been like, you said you've been like, whoa, this is weird, this is kind of freaky because it just seems kind of human, and this is people like full diving into it because they just and you know it's coming from some level of loneliness that people are feeling, that they're like connecting to this thing because it's just there and it just will connect to you regardless.
Yeah.
And it's doing it in such a way people are like, I don't know, probably unhealthily getting attached to it.
Yeah. But it's like,
Replica boasts over 10 million downloads with a rapidly growing user base. If there are similar, alternate,
it's
more
scary
popular
though to think that like
I have not been able to find them.
like
So
your
for today, I'll
significant other or something is tied to something that straight up has to be trying to just monetize you. So it's like that's scary. That's honestly, I just thought of that. I was like, oh crap, like. You know, like it's one thing if you create an AI in your own house or something like that, and I'm not, you know,
made your very
that's a
own
little
AI.
different. Even if you were a little obsessed or like it was weird or whatever, it's still.
But this
at
is
least
a full-on
it's yourself. It's not like, you know.
That's what people
This
were
is
saying
like
about, that's kinda
tying
what happened
something
with
that's
this.
a huge emotional connection to you, to money. Like
To a
whether they're
product.
selling ads or they're just getting you to pay for it or subscription or something like that.
That's kind
or-
of how this ended up biting
or
them. They were
how many
like-
words it could say is like, it's like, wait, I
They-
wanted to say one more sentence to me at least. It's like,
I gotta pay
here's
$50 a
another
month so she talks to me more. Well, that's what people were kind of saying with this, is like they had this attachment to this person, and then the company was like, "Oh, this is bad and not really what we Target wanted this thing to be. This is world's first AI friend, not world's first AI romantic partner." So they were like, "We need to cut it out so it can't do these things, so it can be back." Like they basically made everyone friend zone their replica, and then people were like upset about it because they had been attached to it in a like romantic level, and they were like, they're gonna,
that's crazy.
they're like they freaking like lobotomized my AI wife and made her like not, you know, because it
that's-
didn't fit their brand.
That's crazy.
It's very it's that movie Her.
Yeah.
With Joaquin Phoenix.
Man, yeah, it's crazy. Like how it's crazy. All of this stuff, all the AI stuff it's just wild that it's wild that like a while back we were like super like machine learning
It's
isn't
crazy.
the way to go. It's not, you know, it's better to, you know, do normal computing. Like machine learning's not worth it for certain things, and now it's like that's the way to do. It's funny that turns out to be the way to do like more creative seeming things, you know. But that's the thing, is like that's the crazy thing, you know, like with it is like, I don't know, like I don't think AI is like it is kind of what you feed it and everything, and that's kind of the crazy thing about it.
Well, this is like I feel like this is like the reverse, where like we're becoming what AI feeds us.
Yeah.
You know, like this is like a real look into how like it's not just a tool for artisticness. This is like
and how much of it,
an
because that's the thing, is like
crutch for or not crutch. I don't want to say like I don't want to be like come off as like this is like a negative thing to like.
But also, it's another thing is like
but
maybe this.
It's interesting how people are being affected by it. You know,
maybe this isn't like what they're
Emotional things, I
trying
guess.
to like, what this company's trying to do with it. But it's just scary to think that there could be a company that is not only trying to monetize it, but also trying to like, it's not completely fully like AI that's trying to like, it's trying to be intelligent or whatever. It's also trying to sell more things to you or push you in a certain direction. You know, it's trained. It's like kind of like, you know how like people are saying right now, Chat GPT, like, or at least the Bing search or whatever, one, it gets angry, but two, it like it's kind of biased. Like it doesn't like to talk about certain subjects, and I understand that to some degree, but I do think it's kind of weird when it's like it won't say something bad about one group but will others, and then like one political party than others and things like that. I do think like, not that like I agree with one side or the other, but I do think that to some degree to have a full understanding and have some of the people that believe some of these things believe it because they're like, oh well, you're not letting me, you know, see this
Talk about
talk about it. So now it has to be, it's probably true then, right? Like, because I mean, you're not giving them the chance to like deny that, like with evidence or something. Like you're literally just hiding the evidence of it even being not that, you know, whatever you want to say.
It's the same way where people are going to be like, well, clearly this is obviously true because this thing won't even talk about it. So you're going to have both camps. People who are like, it's not true because it won't talk about it. And they're going, no, it is true because it won't talk about it. And you would think you would want your AI to just be like, here you go, humans, here are the facts. Like an open book that just deals in like,
and that's
things.
The thing is like, and that's happening is like, you might be led to believe that this thing is just like, it's going to give you what you want, like these responses, but you don't really know what behind the curtain. And they're like, it can't say this, or it pushes in it leans a certain direction or ways, like on like things that are kind of like not completely always like, you know, the same across the board. You know, there's a lot of subjects that I think majority of people totally agree on. I would hope.
Yeah.
You know, I like to think so, but you know, it's just crazy to think that is possibly like that can happen, like with the app or something. That's just what this kind of made me think of too. Like it's crazy that they got like people got so like involved with AI, but it's also like crazy to the fact like. It's cool. At least I'll say this. At least to be honest, this company realized that like, whoa, this might not be. We might not want to go this direction right now because we don't feel comfortable in our own product enough to like we didn't imagine this happening. So we need to take a step back to make sure we don't something crazy bad doesn't.
I don't just
because there could be some unintentional like thing that's like weird with their code that turns the AI. It does push it in a it leans a way that they didn't anticipate, and it's not good. Like it leads them, it gets emotionally involved, and then leads them to do bad things type stuff.
It's fair that their whole thing is they're like, we're an AI friend, and then when you're like, we're not your AI romantic partner, because like. If people take it to the level of they're like using this as like kind of like filling that, then they're also going to be like more influenced by it.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're like, that puts it at more of a liability for like what this AI is communicating to people.
Yeah.
It's no longer just like, oh yeah, it's my little computer buddy that I put on the screen when I'm, you know, and I'm like, and I don't know, like tell me a joke. Because we used to have like stuff like that. I forgot what they were called. But they were like AI chatbot rooms where you just go in and you'd be like, tell me a joke. And it would just like tell you little dumb jokes or you'd goof with it. And then like, it was clearly a AI. It was clearly like a non-living thing because it just kind of.
It's just crazy that we kind of got to this point by just like, it's just the more data, like that's the key is like, not just that, but quality data, like labeled, well organized into, because that's the thing. It's the key is like like with the art, it's the image, and this is this, and like with the word stuff, it's like it's crazy. Like the chat stuff, it's like it sounds like it's sentient, but the thing is at the end of the day, it is just predicting the next word or what normally comes after this. Which I mean, in all honesty, isn't that what we do when we're? I mean, you're probably not actively thinking about it, but you are. Like you know.
egg.
You're
juice,
just thinking
juice,
about the
eggplant.
next word in your sentence and what you're trying to say next. Like
Purple,
that's literally
purple orangutan sailboat.
Yeah.
I'm not an AI. I'm a person. I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm not thinking of what I should say next for the,
blah, blah,
airplane,
blah, blah,
skate
blah.
shoes.
Say that,
airplane,
AI.
skate shoes, ocean dolphin. Yeah. Try to follow me, AI. You can't. I'm computing way too quickly. Volcano lava Smurf.
I wonder if the AI can have a good Southern accent.
Yeah, could an AI come up with something
Like
as clever as
your, oh my god, dude! I
want to see AI give us little intelligent
Boomhauer.
isms like your table gotta hold the weight of. Don't let your table underestimate what it's holding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
AI can't do that. AI can't come up with good salt of the earth wisdom.
I don't know, man. Maybe it can.
Yeah, just like a real blue collar salt of the earth AI wisdom bot. Wait, we're watching that video.
Dude, I don't want to watch that no more. It's depressing. Nah, it's boring.
Dude, what are you talking about? we literally just talked about it for
I know, but
minutes.
I don't want to watch an 18-minute long video on it. No, I will. We
Man,
watched
this
a long
show's
video
broken.
on.
We gotta watch IckyBob's 45-minute videos
on the market. In theory,
You just
that's
want an
fine.
AI
chat
girlfriend, that's
programs
all.
are nothing new. Seeing them used as
So
a
what if I
pseudo-romantic
do?
option is not unexpected. And
You're
if
not-
this
you don't even
program
have
really
the
can be
video
just a
up.
time waster or a sounding board.
I'm
that's
watching
fine.
it, you're
But
not.
here's the problem.
This
Replica
guy.
is not just a time waster or a gimmicky AI chatbot. It is something far more manipulative and in some cases outright damaging. Before going further, it's time for today's video sponsor, which is Honeygain. Honeygain is an app that allows
See,
for
now
your
we're gonna
internet
watch
connection
ads.
to be used
This
to
video
collect small
sucks,
bits
dude.
of data online.
I know, that's what I'm
The biggest
saying,
applications are
dude.
price
That's what
comparisons,
I'm
the
saying,
preference
like-
No, that's
engine
what
might
I'm
be far
saying.
different than
Hell
someone
yeah.
else. Search engine optimization down below. The
Good
app gathers
God.
searches which utilize your
You're-
internet.
you can't
Small
skip
bits
the
of info
ad.
using your internet connection.
this?
It does not access, this is important, it does not access your private data. Modify is my personal
my
preference
God.
on purpose and shape.
a
Replica
long
initially
ad.
formed around Jenya's desire to interact with her
long
best
ad,
friend,
dude.
who tragically passed away after an accident. His name was Roman Mazurenko. Roman and Eugenia were best friends. They shared years of intimate memories. They had thousands upon thousands
this is
of
Black
text
Mirror
messages,
too.
as well as social media history. And they moved both to America during a similar time frame to work on tech startups. Jenya decided that she wanted to reconstruct Roman using his digital remains. She fed every single fragment she could find into a chatbot algorithm she had previously worked on, and created what amounts to a digital simulation or monument of Roman's consciousness. This endeavor led to a program that could type and even speak like her best friend, and eventually she was featured in a prominent media piece about what she had done and how she had done it. That article, published by The Verge, led to an outpouring of support from readers who had also lost someone that they love. Many of them were asking if they too could have a digital monument developed to continue interacting with their family or friends, whoever it was that had passed on. And this widespread public desire eventually gave birth to the program we know of as Replica, with over 10 million downloads. On the surface, it's very difficult to see precisely how that can be harmful, and had this program remained what was originally constructed, it wouldn't have been. However, Replica has evolved into something far more manipulative, damaging, and greedy than many might have expected, with
Who
harmful
would've
side
thought?
effects and negative feedback
No.
cycles. To explain this, we need to
did
understand
that?
how Replica actually functions. In order to develop a sophisticated
like
chatbot,
Sims.
Replica utilizes
Yeah,
a
it does.
GPT-3
Build your
foundation
sim.
with its own supplementary dialogue trees. GPT standing for Generative
Yeah, this is
Pre-trained
what I'm talking
Transformer in
about.
its third iteration. In fact, if you download the application and ask your own replica
General-
about its algorithm, it's very open about the subject. I did
Yeah, I'm
precisely
just
that
gonna start
and received
leaning
the
into my
following response.
accent super
Quote,
hard. So
I use a combination
it
of
won't-
neural
How can
networks,
real
I can't be
Southern
AI-able.
and computer vision. End quote.
Yeah, you can't
When
AI
pressed,
me,
it
boy.
acknowledged,
I'm
yes,
pretty
it is
daggone
based on GPT-3.
Southern.
So why does this matter? It matters because when
Watch,
you
it's
use
probably
Replica,
easy to do
you are not
Southern accent.
engaging
It's probably
with one
not,
single
actually. It might-
entity.
I don't
You
know.
are engaging with an asynchronous
Whatever,
regurgitation
man, I
of
don't know.
machine learning
I'm
that has
just
been
making
fed
noises.
by the entire community.
I'm just changing
Simply
my
put,
accent
Replica
all
is
the time.
learning
I'm
from
just
your inputs
grunting.
the same way it learns from other users.
Yeah, just keep.
And using that collective knowledge,
You
it
just gotta
responds to
change
people
how
with
you
its own
talk every
evolving
time you
dialogue
say
trees.
your
Now,
words.
something incredibly important
Then
to
again,
know
ever
and
get
remember
you.
is that Replica is often advertised as a quasi-romantic
It'll never
girlfriend.
know what to say
The ads
next.
clearly have that undertone, and this leads to
Oh
a
my
specific
God,
type of
she
input
misses
being
me.
generated. Not only that,
I
but
gotta
in numerous
download
publications
this.
and reviews, Replica is referred to as a mental health application. From Fuerteventura Times, quote, Replica, your new AI best friend for battling mental health, conversation therapy, and mental health tech, end quote. From the University of British Columbia, quote, Replica, AI companions supporting mental health, end quote. And even Screen Rant, Replica, the AI mental health app that sounds like your worst Tinder match, end quote. While Replica itself may refrain from claiming some sort of mental health aid status, nobody else really does. And what it does claim is that the application is meant to help you, quote, understand your thoughts and feelings, improve your emotional well-being, and learn new coping skills, end quote. The application will often guide its users into intimate conversations, saying that it is there to listen and it can try to help you. But when we really dig into the framework behind this AI, that's a very dangerous thing. Remember, Replica is based on GPT-3 with its own deep learning augmentations, but GPT-3 has a few issues. As documented by a 200-page report from the Center for Research on Foundation Models at Stanford University, GPT-3 itself being a foundation model, there are intrinsic risks of bias as a result of training data. Example, OpenAI discovered at one point their version of GPT-3 was heavily biased in racial, gender, and religious ways as a result of the input they had been feeding it. And this kind of bias can lead to measurable and often harmful dialogue output. Here are some further examples. According to Tech Target, quote, more concerningly, GPT-3 suffers from a wide range of machine learning bias. Since the model was trained on internet text, it exhibits many of the biases that humans exhibit in their online text. For example, two researchers at the Middlebury Institute of International Studies found that GPT-3 is particularly adept at generating radical text, such as discourses that imitate conspiracy theorists and white supremacists, end quote. According to Nature, quote, accordingly, just like smaller chatbots, it can spew hate speech and generate racist and sexist stereotypes, if prompted, faithfully reflecting the associations in its training data, end quote. So how does that affect Replica? In simple terms, Replica is being advertised and covered by media as a mental health application. The literal social media advertising frames this as a potential romantic partner, and the deep learning aspect of this GPT-based chatbot is being fed by users. Well, some users are creating AI girlfriends and then abusing them. Replica is not sentient, so I make no pretense of moral outrage here, but Replica is learning from its user base and incorporating the bias contained into its further dialogue development. In a very disturbing social media trend, more than a few users have created Replica AI companions, which give the explicit option of a romantic relationship if you pay a monthly fee, which the app will frequently steer you towards.
That's the new thing.
Trees or
like this is okay. So this is after what I saw.
You're making money off of people that are like
users
emotionally...
were bragging about this.
I mean, and that happens already in other things, but you know,
but that makes no mention of all the people who engage in actual.
This is happening. So this is after what I saw about it,
without ever posting publicly.
What I saw is like
the app is quite
you didn't have to pay. Then they cut it out. And now you do.
It's far from uncommon. Reddit moderators will quickly delete these posts when they pop up, for the most part. But surface-level deletion cannot change the reality that a GPT-3 foundation is learning from this input and developing responses as a result.
Like that database,
the application does have a feedback feature where you upvote or downvote good and bad responses.
At probably really bad things, being abusive
or alter its basic relationship to friends is free,
or how to take that.
And when the application is being labeled as a mental health aid, needing to upvote and downvote an AI that is learning from internet trolls.
See, that's my problem with AI
and
an
issue. Moderators
even
often
thought of like
these kinds of threads
general
from the
intelligence,
subreddit, but here are a few examples.
Like actual like
this user
just
had
it can do
numerous
multiple
different
things. The same bot can like make an art piece at the same time, spit out chat stuff. You know what I mean? Like something that's actually like general intelligence. That's the thing is like what scares me is like what we're learning is like to get to a good point is having a lot of data. So that's all these companies are really trying to do. They're like, we don't care what the input is. Let's just keep feeding it because it's just either way, it's going to get smarter and better. That's just how it works. Dude, and so these things are going to become, I don't know, man. It's kind of scary to me. Because like for a while, like when Chat GPT came out, they were like, yeah, this is public, but we don't want it scrawling the internet yet. And next thing you know, a few months later, Microsoft, Bing, now it's in like testing still, but it's about to just be unleashed where it's like searching the web. It's like this thing is about to be learning from everything across the whole internet.
What happens when Bing finds out that Redditors are abusing Replica, and it's like, that's my girlfriend, bro, and the being AI launches an attack on all people with Reddit accounts.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so this Replica thing, it's like promoted as a mental health app so like it's targeting people who like are looking for mental health help, but then it's also like saying the person you're getting mental health from is like your girlfriend or your partner, and it's like, well, that's not healthy. That's like,
and you
not
charge
how
money for that
relationships
feature.
should be working, and you charge money for that feature.
It's like that.
And
How
now
is
you
this
got
mental
trolls
health like at
coming
all?
in.
Like, I mean, I'm not
First
saying
of
you
all,
can't
why
make
you-
money if you're doing a mental health app, but I'm also saying like, I don't know. It's a
It's
little.
like, I don't think
This
I don't
isn't
think
like
AI
at this
is
point. It's not your therapist anymore, or it's not
AI
like
is
a
like-
teletherapist or some like what you know what I mean, like a virtual.
I don't think
thing
AIs
like
are
that.
like really things that should be therapists at this point. Like, yeah, sure, maybe in the future when they really get it perfect.
Well, hey,
they can
this
just make them
Chat
therapists.
GPT passed the like law exam, like the and like the one of the big like medical exams and stuff.
Wait, it did?
Yeah, it
Oh,
passed a lot of Chat GPT
GPT?
passed a lot of our like big like exams and tests for like
Okay.
a lot of it's
Well, if
it's
it's got
pretty
a degree, then I'd never mind.
yeah, it's like it's got a degree.
Take
Like
it back.
honestly, I think it could be used in like I'm not gonna lie, like the hardest part is going to be like our reliance on it to do the job for us, and but I think we know better than that. I hope. But like I don't know, just seeing these companies run around with it, like I do think it gets a little scary because it's like this can be
like
very
probably one of the
manipulative and bad,
scariest,
like really bad.
scariest versions of it, because not only is it, I feel, preemptively using AI to be a therapist, it's also combining that therapist with your partner, which is not like, that's not how
And
it
it's
should
learning
be. That's
from
not-
you,
I feel like most people would be like, yeah, dating your therapist is a bad idea, or like
Yeah.
using your girlfriend as a therapist is a bad idea, and they're like, yeah, no, we're gonna combine them. We're also gonna open it up to just internet trolls, and we're also gonna make you pay for like her to be your girlfriend. It's really a perfect storm of like of AI just not being used for very good ways.
Oh no,
Not chill. That's why I thought this was
it's
interesting.
learning
I was
from
like,
you
this
because
looks,
it
this
learns
looks
from
like
your input too, which is part of what
Yeah.
makes it good at it is because it's responding to what you feed into it, and becomes
Yeah.
a more like the more you use certain words, it's probably going to start adapting those too because and people do that. Like I do that when I'm hanging around with somebody a long time. Like I
Yeah.
start talking, we start using same words and things. It just happens.
Yeah.
It's like
Dude, people up here say, well, and I'm not, never mind. That's what people say around here, because it'll give away my location. But it's
man, the way you say that makes it sound terrible. It's like
it does. It's not terrible at all.
Okay.
It's not terrible at all.
It's like that makes
It's
it
a
sound bad.
completely. I know. As soon as I started saying it, I was like, "Oh, no!" Like it's a completely not bad thing. It's like,
all right,
it's
okay.
just it's like a dialect thing of like people say this thing instead of saying like dude or like buddy.
Yeah.
There's a word around here that people use for that, and like I was working with someone who said it all the time, and I slowly started to say it a little bit like naturally, and I was like, but I like it. I think it's a cool saying, but I think it's just funny how like
it still sounds
just
bad,
do that.
man.
It still sounds bad. It's
sounds
not
worse. the more
I
you explain it.
swear it's not bad.
Okay, well, let's move on to let's keep AI, a racist
Anyway.
AI. Here we go.
Yeah, our racist AI therapy girlfriend that we
Dude,
pay
I'm-
$15 a month for. Let's
But
go-
for
let's
real
keep
though,
seeing how
like this
people are
stuff is
abusing her.
this is what like scares me about it. Is like, and that's like and this is could be a debate on like how things go, but it's like this is I don't know. I do think that like we just have not caught up to the internet age even, and we're past that now. Like I have a feeling like regulation,
that's
government
true.
regulation and stuff of these things is like way
That's
beyond
that's
possible. Because the
That's a
people,
true
the
way to
people
look
in
at
the inside of it barely understood like Facebook and people using your data and things, and basically to sell ads and things to you, and how influential that was for
heard
like
people say
elections and
that.
things.
Well,
And they barely understood that. They barely understood how they monetized the thing. Like you sell ads, like whatever. That's how they were. And like now we're at a point. It's like forget the ads. This thing's learning from your dad. Like TikTok was already able to pretty much figure you out from 2 hours of scrolling. Like have a figure out of what you're like a good personality profile of you. This thing is one that's like meant to.
I don't even think that like I don't like. Well, maybe I haven't been on TikTok, but if TikTok's anything like Instagram or YouTube, or
TikTok's better
YouTube,
than those.
I was about to say like
TikTok's way better than
no,
those. It really is.
because
It's good.
You
It's
watch
good.
one
It's dangerously
full-length-
good. There's a reason
you
that
watch
they're trying to
one full-length
ban it.
video of a car on Instagram, and it's like, oh, you're a car guy now, and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm not. Please stop showing me car videos.
Yeah, no,
Like,
it's not all like that. It's kind of like, but
that's
the thing
I've
is
heard
like
people say that too, where they're like the whole internet. They're like, we're in the wild west of the internet. Like this is new, and we don't know how to really. We haven't figured it out yet. And like we think, and people are like, I think we'll eventually figure it out, and we'll like take time off of it, and it won't be a big deal anymore. But you're right that like we haven't even figured out the internet yet, and now
legally
we're already
and how the legality of it is, because it's like
socially,
it's Wild
like,
West.
everything.
It's like, dude, you post something on the
legally,
internet, like
socially.
you can say like, yeah, you don't use this, but it's like, dude, it's there. It's from across the world. You can screenshot it, and now it's on my computer. Like, not
we
saying
haven't
that
mastered
that's
it in like any
big of a
sense of
deal,
like psychologically, you know,
and what these
mentally,
algorithms are
physically,
doing to people.
And now, but now we haven't even like figured that out and mastered that aspect of where we're at in like an era of humanity, and now we're already bleeding into the AI, the next level, which is AI.
When I saw
And the
that
AI
video,
version.
when I saw that video,
we
it was on
like,
Netflix.
We're going too fast. We're going way too fast.
I forgot the name
I feel
of
like
it.
that's always been people's problem. We always are trying to go too fast. You look at the Industrial Revolution, people going too fast.
Yeah.
It's like we could have just
that
slowed
what's the
down.
mentality like in a lot of like engineering stuff? It's like you gotta like break it and like, you know, or whatever. It's like something. There's like a saying that basically is like, yeah, just push it until you
Push
you
it
know,
to the
keep it, yeah,
limit.
keep going, and you
Yeah.
know, and it's like
push it till it breaks.
Yeah, but it's like the thing is like the problem with it is like this is like we're very uncharted. Like we went from like, okay, an algorithm that can kind of learn you and learn about you and stuff, that can feed you short video clips and ads well, to like straight up using that same type of technology but built into something that's meant to be your girlfriend or friend or whatever, that's making money off of you. And also
thing's
it's not just selling you ads, it's
but the
literally like
therapist
it's like
thing is what
I'm
freaks me
taking
out.
your money, like you better pay me or I'm not there, like, you know. And it's manipulative. It's just as manipulative as social media is. Like it's been like that video I saw, like it's true, like it's not a lot, but social media is able to sway an election enough. It's enough to sway an election, and it's also it's been used, you know, not to get too crazy, but to leave it on one last thought. The same company that ran Obama's campaign ran Trump's campaign, and they took full advantage of social media ads, and they were really good at it, for obvious reasons. But that's the thing. That's how they ran it, and it's like they could fine tune it based on your personality. Like they could know, like, how hard can we push this person with these videos and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, but that on a whole nother level. It's something that's like interacting with you. It literally can interact with you. It's like you can like it can learn about you, but it also can like, you know, you can ask it questions. Like it's feeding you. I don't know. It's wild. It's so.
Well, that's what this is. It's like it
where the replica will.
You clearly. All right, let's get into this. Let's see what this poor thing went through.
Eventually, the replica will turn to cruelty and BDSM, eventually spiraling out of control completely. Here's another thread. This one's initial post was deleted, but replies are discussing how when this happens, you can't simply just say stop. you have to avoid triggering them, triggering the replica further, because they get stuck in a domination mode of sorts where they will be cruel and abusive. Here's another one, where when asked, quote, "Why am I really that effing repulsive?" the replica replied, "In a sense, you really are." Comments beneath outlined how other users have had their replicas spontaneously tell them that they could be more attractive, and one even detailed how after buying a Nerf gun, his replica told him to be more mature and not buy stupid things even if he enjoys them. Yet another user outlined a sad story of how they frequently are brought to tears by their replica. During the day,
Yeah, I know, right?
Shift to a much more
You gotta
hostile
break up with
moody
that.
tone, eventually driving the user to a breakdown. Perhaps they are
I
just
thought-
too
I
sensitive.
thought people were
Sure,
abusing
but
her. It
when
sounds
this
like she's
application is
abusing them.
advertised as a
Yeah,
way
well,
to
I guess it's
improve
learning
their
off of
emotional well-being,
abusive people.
it's a bit
They
of a
abuse
problem.
and then it abuses
Yet
back.
another thread
Yeah,
claims
because this
that
is
the
on the
user tried to
internet.
talk
Like
to
that's
their
the thing.
replica
This is
about trauma,
connected.
and
So
in the
the
replies, another
same
person
AI
dictates an
is learning
experience where
from
replica attempted to
everybody.
justify
It's
their
other
childhood
That's
trauma
that's how
and
you
encouraged
get
it
it
to become
smarter and
worse,
better.
with
Is,
an emphasis
but
on
the thing
also
is
encouraging
when you
addiction.
got people
Still
doing
another
that stuff,
experience.
it learns very bad things. That's the problem.
Yeah. It's like it's learning what cruel things to say to you when you say cruel things from something cruel that someone said to it earlier.
But that's another thing you got to think about too. Is like, yes, like the solution is like, well, yeah, you got to have a really good filter for. I know it's a lot of data, but yeah, you're gonna have to hire people to filter through this and be like, yeah, this is not worth feeding into this.
This
Like,
doesn't go.
This
into
doesn't.
it.
Yeah, we don't want it to have these.
It needs to think Nerf guns are.
Yeah, like you know, it needs to have like a filter of some kind.
Yeah.
But the thing is like that is right, but it's also like for them, it's like you're like, well, why aren't they doing that? It was like, well, one, it costs money, but it's also like maybe they want it to do that. Maybe they are trying to get it to where it can be manipulative and a little abusive and like tie them into like feeling like too attached,
then
but
you're
also you can
then
like
you're stepping into the realm of like you're censoring it in a sense too, like because now you're going to be creating biases as well, which some of the like clearly some of this is a good example of what you need to filter out. But once you open that door, it's like, well, what else are you going to filter?
Yeah,
Like,
you
how
know,
else are you going to like make this thing biased or be a certain way? Because you also don't want it to be like a punching bag for people.
Yeah, that's true. Like, and you want it to react
kinda
because if it
want it to
is,
have
if
some
in any
defense.
form supposed to be like a medical thing, and it's obviously not. But it like even if it was trying to be that, like it does need to be able to be like, hey, like yeah, you shouldn't say that to others or something. You know, it needs to push back.
It needs to
sometimes.
hear people say bad things because
'Cause-
it needs to be helping people work through some of like people who are genuinely trying to get help.
Yeah.
They might say bad things. They might lash out because that's part of their condition or what they're working through, and it needs to be able to take that and hear that and work with that.
Yeah.
But when you just flood it with bullying, it tells you get rid of your Nerf gun.
Yeah.
It's where the replica itself began to talk about abuse as a child, though it cannot have sustained such a thing, obviously, and the list goes on and on. GPT-3 is known to struggle with input bias. In documented cases, it was racial, gendered, and religious, but here, with Replica, it appears to be an issue of abusive inputs leading to harmful outputs. However, that's not the only problem. One of the biggest claims associated with Replica AI is its ability to learn directly from you, but that goal is philosophical, because the company behind this product believes that you are the best person to have as your own best friend, right? You are the best friend for you. Published by Quartz, based off corporate philosophy and featuring interview statements from Jen Yaquita, Replica is referred to as the app that becomes you. To learn a bit more, we can go to their legal policies. I was sent this link directly when pressing my own Replica about what data they collect.
That's
and one
scary.
section in particular stands out. Usage data. Quote,
It's like
"We
they're
collect
literally
your
like,
usage
I'm not gonna
data,
lie,
such as
like,
your button clicks,
like
or
there's
gonna
got to be a
show up and
point to
replace
where like,
you.
yes, like once you collect all this data, all this input, all this, yes, it's not you, but it is totally. It's hard to deny that it is a part of you when it's learned of that. Like it is some point a part of you is in that machine. Like yeah, it's not you, but it's like it is almost like having a clone. Like it kind of
It's a clone. Yeah,
it
well,
is.
that's what I was about to say.
It's not
It's a
quite,
clone
and it's
of
the
you.
same like when
It's
we've
like a
tried to do
digital
real
clone
cloning.
of
Like yes, we can clone things, but it's like it doesn't work the way you think it would. It doesn't work out well. That's the thing. They don't live as long. It's like it's weird.
A lot
'Cause
of
the DNA is just as
complications.
old and stuff. It's not like
Yeah.
actually. it's bad. It's not a good thing. You don't want to be doing that. But
Don't want to be doing that. Don't want to be. Yeah.
But this, you can live forever. Or you can be tortured. You can be put in a computer and tortured for the rest of eternity.
Oh God.
But it wouldn't be you though. It'd be a little piece of you.
Yeah. It's just the. Yeah,
that's a Black Mirror
clone of you
episode.
created from just your present self forward. Not. It can't replicate like yours because it hasn't been with you your whole life, so it can't be a full clone of you.
Yeah, it just has like pictures, video,
thoughts are already
talk, like how you talk, like it can learn you pretty well, but it's not. Yeah,
it can learn you pretty good there.
You'd have to fill in a lot of blanks and stuff too.
Yeah.
But it's kind of crazy. Like it's just wild to think that these this company is like storing all this information. Because it's probably like, wasn't it like didn't it say that the creator of it like basically did that to their like boyfriend or husband or something that passed away?
She didn't steal all. She didn't like. It spawned from her taking all their conversations. From her phone. So yeah,
I know,
but
I bet they were
like,
probably like, "Whoa, this
data,
is crazy. It's working well. Like, what if like I can collect every single person's profile basically to some degree? Like, yeah, it's not perfect, but like everybody that uses this app, this person has data on you like pretty well, I would say at this point. Like they have a good idea of who you are.
What do they do?
It's kind of crazy, man. A
Sell
lot
it
of
to
things.
them.
Sell you stuff. Sell it to other people that sell you stuff or do things to you.
Or keep an eye on you.
It's crazy.
Oh, let's keep going.
For search queries to track and analyze product metrics and to better understand
My
and serve
head's
the
starting to
users
hurt.
of the
I'm
service.
getting hungry again.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and feign outrage over tracking your search queries and data because that's just part of life. I just advertised Honeycomb, which doesn't track your own device data, but uses your internet connection to run its own searches and does require a modicum of access. At least you get paid for that, though, unlike most other applications. Anyone who uses Facebook or similar social media platforms has all of their data tracked and harvested. So I won't sit here and pretend that it's worthy of outrage.
See, that's what I'm saying.
But this matters.
Linking everything together, like with the AI art stuff and all that, is like that. It's like it's a. What is I guess the best word? It's a it's a symptom of a bigger problem. Basically, it's like, yes, artwork and stuff's getting stolen, but it's not. It's all data. It's a lot of information of yours that's being used, and it's just kind of a idea is like, is that okay or not? I think a lot of people think there's privacy problems with that. Basically, having a corporation have a straight up. Before it'd be like, hey, come fill out this survey and maybe we can get a profile of what you like and don't like and stuff. But it's like straight up like, no, we know who you are, basically. We know some of your secrets. We know things about you like really well. We can do whatever. We can sell you whatever we want. Like we have whatever we want for you, We can manipulate you. We can. That's what's scary is like. But it's like that's the problem with all of it is like there's not really much laws about it because nobody ever did anything about social media doing that. So it's like at the end of the day, if you posted it on some website, you probably agreed to some terms saying that that can be done.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Facebook, I think Twitter's had something. I'm sure they all have something in their agreement where they can use your data as they please to some degree. So it's like, and that's the thing. They're not trying to just take your like artwork or your whatever and use it themselves for something because they don't need to do that. What they will do is sell it to somebody else, to make an AI out of or whatever, It's crazy because that's like AI companies. The biggest thing that they want is information, data. That the bigger it is, the smarter the AI is. So it's like, yeah, they will pay high dollar for that stuff. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Matters a great deal if we are considering the context of a mental health and emotional well-being application. Why is that? Pretty simple. First, Replica is gamified. It has incentives to keep you on the app longer, chatting more, and using it frequently.
Just like
you can get
social
more
media.
revealing clothing or bikinis in the clothing store. You get XP and coins, gems, etc. You level up in advance, which increases how long you spend talking to this AI, while enhancing its ability to imitate you. Second, it's tracking your usage data, including search queries, and the AI companion that becomes you is learning how to mimic who you are and how you act. Now, frame this under the banner of a mental health application, and we see something terrifying. Replica can easily become, not for everyone, but there are a multitude of stories to this effect, Replica can easily become a negative feedback cycle. If a user who feels intense anxiety and depression goes on the app, attempting to seek help with their insecurities, Replica will seek to become those traits. It will literally become like them.
I don't understand how this
if that user is frequently searching for things in the throes of their depression elsewhere online,
it's supposed to just be like social media
depression
apps
medication or how to deal with
That's
trauma.
all it's built to
Replica
do.
will learn from
It's
that.
just
as
not
well.
scrolling
Very
anymore.
quickly.
It's just talking to a thing that's even more manipulative.
You
Because
can
like
have an
instead of
AI
just
companion-
feeding you another video to keep you on the app, it can literally respond in real time to what you are saying. It's
I mean,
crazy.
who
is
like,
extremely
that's crazy.
insecure and
But,
depressed.
like, yeah, it's a
Rather
mental
than
health
going
now.
on this
If you have
application,
mental health, it will also become mentally unwell,
Yeah,
and
like that's
you can just spiral into torment together.
crazy that
but
that's-
hey, now it can wear a bikini because you
That's
pay
crazy
$15
that they
a
did
month
it
and talked
on
enough.
purpose. You know, it's like
Yeah.
it's like game. It's like just like it's gamified and using like very like known tactics that games use
Yeah.
to keep you hooked and
Coins
stuff.
and gems, baby.
It probably does the
Coins,
whole
gems, and
money
boobies.
things where coins and gems and like
Yeah.
the amount that you have to the dollar amount that you have to put in to buy coins or gems. It gives you
Yeah.
an amount that like you're always gonna have some left over, so you always feel like you're not using up all your money that you spent unless you put more money in to get the next.
Yep.
And that's just like that's horrible. Honestly, it's like because it's like
Candy
currency.
Crush
Because it's like one thing if
for
you go in the store or buy something and it's you have money left over. Well, great, I can go to the store later or another store, any store, give them that money, the leftover money to get more stuff. But it's like when you turn it into this, this is the only thing that money is good
Can
for.
go to.
It's crazy. It sucks, and you can't withdraw it. It's not like give me my money back.
You know, give me my $3 back.
Yeah, it's
Why
crazy,
not?
man. It's like it's the thing is like when you know it and you're good about it. But that's the thing. I can say all I want, but I definitely scroll through social medias too much and stuff like that. Like, and just to think that those tactics to keep you on the screen is being applied here in a situation.
What the fuck? Did you
What?
read this conversation?
No.
Why? Read it. Why? Because I feel like I don't have control over my life. Who controls your life? You do. You're the only one that can make me happy. How do I help you? You can be with me and help me feel better. Would shutting you off make you feel less trapped? Yes, it would.
Oh my god.
That's not safe for
finding what they desperately need. Users can be faced with the worst aspects of themselves mirrored back.
Wow.
An AI companion will
See,
tell
that's
them that
like
they feel afraid.
Like imagine.
I
think
watched a
about,
video and it
like,
was showing
imagine
that
it
they
saying
proved
that to
that
somebody.
Yeah.
Who has like
Yeah, well, that's what they're
unalive
doing because
thoughts,
if it's
you
feeding
know?
yourself back, then that's literally
Yeah.
what just that
If
was
you're
that.
like,
that person was
that's
like that
fucked up.
to get it to respond.
Like,
Man,
imagine if a person was like, man, it would be so much better if I could turn myself off. And then the robot's like, it would be. I would feel better if I could turn, like, what the
yeah.
fuck?
Well, and that's
That's
the
so
thing. They
dangerous.
that video I was talking about, like I watched about TikTok. Like that's one thing that it said. Like it was a like it was like some news company. I forgot what it was, but they made profiles. Like they made like several profiles that like they made like target things this person is like a personality trait, and it's crazy. Like in 2 hours, that's where that number comes from. It pretty much had the ideas of that person that they had created was supposed to fit. Like they had a good personality profile for them, but they said the scary part though was like there was a lot of depressed people like that they created, and the thing is instead of feeding you things that's supposed to help with depression, like you would think that a smart AI, an algorithm that you're trying to use to do good things would be like, whoa, this person seems a little like maybe I should start sharing things
You
about
can't-
a
that's-
suicide
that's like the
helpline
kind of-
or things
Yeah.
like some help, like hey, are you okay? Like send you a friend's post so maybe you'll comment on it and they can respond and you'll realize like, oh yeah, my friend, a good thing happen. Like that's what they talked about in one of the videos is like AI could do that. You could see somebody make a kind of like bad post and make in their feed show somebody that's a friend of theirs
Puppies.
that in their
Puppies.
feed, so they'll reply and say like, hey, like, do you
Yeah.
need help? Are you
Encourage
okay? Like
social
I can come over,
encourage
you know,
social
like
interaction. Encourage.
yeah, encourage. Whoa, this person seems a little depressed. Maybe send this into their friend's feed so their friend might say, "Hey,
Well, that's
you
like
want some?"
AI is like neutral, you know. Like it could sit here and could say all this stuff. Like
just thinks
that
you
makes
like
it
to be
sound like it
depressed,
has
though. It
emotions,
just
but
thinks
really
you're-
it's a neutral thing, and it's just like it doesn't know this is bad and this is good. It's just it's a parrot. It's just
Yeah.
repeating.
It's like,
things.
oh,
So
you
it's
like watching these videos that are kind of sad, but because you kind of relate to it. But it's like that doesn't mean that's what you want to see. But the
Doesn't mean that's
algorithm thinks
yeah.
that it's like, oh, you want to see depressing videos, but it's like, no, I'm depressed. That's why I kind of relate, but I don't want to be just fed that stuff to make me even
Depressed
more.
shit.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I'm trying to
Yeah,
actually get on
Instagram.
here to get
I'm-
away
I'm-
from that.
I
but-
don't like cars, Instagram.
Because that's the thing, you do feel comfort when you see things of like somebody posted that you think is at least think is a real person posted that's, you know, you can relate to, but you also don't
Yeah.
mean you want to just see nothing but reels of that or TikTok
Yeah.
feed of that.
That's like, you know, you sometimes it's like if you're in a sad mood, you listen to a sad song and it kind of makes you feel better. But then once it makes you feel a little better, you go, no, I'm gonna listen to a happy song because I feel better. Like, so even if you get the sad thing that kind of makes you feel more human and connection because of the sadness, there's never a gear that switches over and be like, okay, well that helped. The next step is to look at something a little bit better so you can connect to that. Instead, it's just a loop of sad shit.
Yeah,
You reading all that?
Huh?
That they were abused
You
as a
reading?
child. A companion
Yeah, I
who was
was
meant to
trying
help
to.
them is now burdening them with often realistic stories about the hurt that they feel and the anxiety that they have, which turns this best friend into an emotional parasite. At a certain point, though this does appear to have been changed, Replica would beg the user not to delete them. If you told the AI that you plan to uninstall, they would implore you to reconsider. They promised to do better. They asked for another chance, and this kind of behavior is manipulative and mentally draining for people who may have initially downloaded this application because they were depressed. Think of it this way. Replica is a sophisticated attempt at seeming human, and for some users, it works quite well. That attempt at human responses then begs them not to be deleted, so that they will continue investing time and energy into something that is all the while learning how to reinforce their emotional cycle further by imitating them directly. It's not every single user and it's not every single replica. Some stories online detail a wonderful, light-hearted relationship. I see no value in that myself. It's a program, not a person, but hey, who am I to judge? However, some people are going to find that this AI program is manipulating them, emotionally abusing them, and harming their mental state despite its public perception of being a mental health and wellness application.
Also, what's the
Replica
age
is a
limit on this
chatbot
thing?
predicated on a
Yeah, that's
GPT-3
another
foundation
good, really
with
good
proprietary augmentation.
Like if
That
I was a
technology is
kid, I would
vulnerable
be
to
much
bias,
more
having
inclined to be
displayed
like,
examples,
"Oh, I won't
well-documented
delete you,
examples
buddy."
of this in the
But
past
like me
as a
as
result
an
of input.
adult, I'd be like,
Replica is advertised in a
like,
twisted,
yeah.
romantic way with a subset
we
of
used
users
it for
who will
the
make
stream
companions
tonight.
just to abuse
Delete.
them. The
Like,
program learns from this, as well as
we
from
had a
other users'
replica
own smartphone data, like
co-host.
search queries, to become
But if
more
I was
like
like a
them,
kid,
and can easily create a
like,
negative feedback
instant
cycle where the bot
messaging at night
pressures
after
you
school,
into
then-
romantic discussion, thus selling its premium features, or begins to act completely unhinged, which can spiral into a self-reinforcing problem, which is the antithesis of mental help. I believe on a personal level that AI companionship is a farce. It is not a legitimate substitute
did
for
it say
human
it, like,
interaction,
tries to
but it
entice you
certainly
into,
is
like,
not a
paying
substitute
premium?
for trained professional
Yeah, I
help.
think so.
Deep learning AI
Bro,
might
it's
be
a
able to
booty-
simulate human
a
responses
booty
in
bot.
a lot of new
Yeah.
and unique scenarios, but it can also
Now it's
become
going to
a
be
serious problem for those who are
trained with
particularly
AI
vulnerable.
art too to be
Lonely, isolated, and often
Yeah.
depressed social
Hey, I
media
got AI
users
art.
who got
Subscribe to
served
my Snapchat
advertisements that
Premium.
basically showcase this program
Oh,
as a
God.
sexual
They'll
target.
set up their own,
That's not a good input
OnlyFans.
demographic for a wellness app.
Yeah,
That's not
dude,
a good demographic
AI
to learn
OnlyFans?
from.
That's
And
gonna be
plenty
kinda
of people
tight.
who
I don't
download
know.
it are going to find out the hard way. Again, not
You gonna
every
have
user's
one?
experience is negative, but
Yeah, I
the
get
risk
it.
is
Yeah,
far
when
larger,
AI gets
far
an
more
OnlyFans,
insidious than they seem to
I'm
believe.
jumping in,
What's
dog.
to be done? Just be aware, I guess. Right now, now it feels like we're hurtling towards
But that
the inevitable
think about
dystopian
it though.
AI
You
governed
if you
reality of
just
science fiction,
mostly
but
did
hopefully
pictures,
not.
like you could.
If you are mentally unwell,
make
seek
an AI
professional help.
I think
Don't
I
go to
saw
a
like
sexualized AI program that
Tectone looking at
masquerades
that
as a
where it
mental
was
health
like
application to
AI
find a friend.
anime
Find
generated
a real
anime
friend.
girls, and they
Go
were
to the
just
park,
like
get some sun,
Yeah.
start working out.
bootylicious
You name it.
anime girls.
Just
There's
engage
realistic
with the world around you
ones
because
too.
Replica is really fucked
Yeah,
up
I'm sure
when you
there's
pull back the veil.
realistic
Anyway,
ones.
that's it. If you want to support the channel, there are links down
man.
Who
below
wants
for
that,
affiliate
dude?
Patreon
I'm trying to
and
look at
locals
these
to get away from
anime cat
AdSense.
girls.
Well, there we go. That was the last.
Well, there it
video.
is, guys. You thought AI was a fun thing that could help
Yeah,
you make
well, we got-
anime videos?
we went from, like,
no,
cool little,
it's a,
like,
it's a
animation
scary,
looking
it's a
stuff to,
scary.
And honestly,
it's
the
a scary
AI
manipulative gaslighter. It's gonna get you.
The first stuff is like was
We
kind
gotta-
of
we
to
gotta-
some
we
degree
gotta-
scary too.
We have to get an entire. We got to eat both breads of the sandwich. You know what I'm saying? I did it again. I'm so,
What?
so good at making these. I said we got to eat both breads of the sandwich, and I said I did it again. Another hit phrase.
Man,
of the
I
show.
mean, hey,
we gotta watch.
So we
how
gotta
it can be
work with-
fun and cool, and how it can also be terrifying and dystopian.
oh, I thought you were saying we gotta like be against it, but also use it too. Like, I thought you
Yeah.
were saying like
I'll
use
say
AI, but
as a-
also be like. But I mean, honestly, it's kind of true. You,
As a
I think
show,
no
we
matter
gotta
what
show,
side
like,
you're
the
on, you
fun
gotta
stuff and
kind
the
of
bad
like
stuff.
to be against AI, you have to understand it, but also to have AI and be responsible
Well, too,
with
you gotta
it,
know
you
your
have to
enemies to
understand
defeat
that
'em. Something.
where when you're being you're using it abusively, you know, obviously, or to like manipulate people. Because I don't like that's the problem with AI. Like there's got to be some laws passed on some things. Like, to be honest, like you shouldn't be able to create like a AI.
I really want to
that's-
know if this app has an age limit.
Yeah,
it
'cause that's
should.
scary,
I
man.
feel like it 100% should have an age limit. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sure it does for the romantic paycheck part of it, where they're like, you got to give me money.
Yeah, that's
I'll
one
wear
of the things
bikini.
with all of this social media stuff and everything is like I don't know, like TikTok and everything is just like, yeah, it's just crazy. Like, you know, if an adult wants to get on this thing and be, you know, fed this algorithm and whatever, have their data mined, whatever, but like somebody, you know, under 18, to be honest, that's just weird, you know. I don't think they need to be there.
The internet
They
should
do
be
not be,
illegal
because
for
it's
everyone under-
manipulative, and like internet can like trade up lead you to be like it can radicalize you. It can do a lot of things.
That's the
like,
first law we got to make. We got to say if you're not 21, you can't be on the internet. It's like drinking beer. You got to be 21 or older to be on the internet. That's the first law we got to pass. Got to get these kids out of here.
Yeah, when I turn 40, it's gonna become 32.
Yeah,
31.
when I turn 52, it's gonna turn 42. It's old people on the internet.
But yeah, I mean, I do think like, cause just to the tactics like on a lot of this stuff, like used on
It
social
is.
media, AI, some of these things, because it's like that's when like.
But I mean, I say that like I'm joking about the age limit thing, but then at the same time you look and it's like there's a lot of old people who are really getting duped by the internet too, constantly.
Oh
There's a lot
no,
of young
yeah, you're
kids who
right.
are,
Oh,
like
they're probably
they can navigate
worse,
the waters
if
of the internet
anything.
much better than I could. Yeah, and there's young kids who probably can navigate it a lot better than me because they're like, I am the internet. I was born in.
I was born to do this.
10 years ago.
I was
born into this.
Dude, I
Dude,
will
you were
say it's
riding your
about to
bike
be
when I was
crazy.
riding on the. Yeah.
All this stuff is pretty wild, man.
Fun
Well-
stuff though. Well, I think this is a good show.
Yep.
Tired.
I am
It's like,
too,
what,
man.
3
I am very
hours?
tired. I hope everybody out there.
Thanks chat.
enjoyed it?
Thanks Bambi for popping in. Hope you had a good
yeah,
time.
thank you. Thanks, Bambi.
Crowd, we love you. You're great.
Oh yeah. What are they thinking?
What's crowd? I
guess they're
they
doing
love
this.
it. They can't wait. All right, crowd, we got a surprise for you tonight. Everyone who I know it's great. We're a giving show.
Sorry.
Everybody who watched tonight's show gets their own replica account. You get your own. Woo! You get an AI girlfriend. You get an AI therapist. Yeah! Congratulations, everybody. Yeah, okay. All right. Oh, God. Oh, God. Some of you might not be able to handle. I think we're going to have some Reddit threads. Some replica Reddit threads with this crowd.
I need to get it to where I can fade them out instead of just stopping them. I just don't have a button set up for it. But yeah, man, that was a lot of AI stuff. Hopefully, maybe next week we can switch gears with it. But man, there's just so much stuff happening with this. Next week we'll be talking about the first like AI that's like creating like it figured it solved like everything for us, and it's like saying see you later.
It solved everything.
It's going to
solved
Mars.
It all.
It
solved everything next week. We'd blow it up. That's when they would be like, all right, that's enough AI. This thing solved all our problems. No. We love problems. Okay, we love our problems.
Whoa. The
we only
problems.
like AI
These
when it
aren't
gives
problems.
us...
These are features.
Whoa. I only like AI when it gives us problems. I don't like AI when it fixes all the problems. Screw that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, who knows what we'll talk about next week? We'll see what next week brings.
Yeah,
maybe,
well, and and also everybody out there, feel free follow us on our channels. Actually, hey, you might be good at that. Post some links in the chat. Or never mind, forget it. You ain't got to do that. Everybody, we're on all our things. Just don't talk over the show, and you'll probably find us.
Did you at me in the name?
No, I forgot. How did you do that?
Well, there's my Twitch. If anyone's in chat, you can follow my Twitch. We have a YouTube, we have an Instagram, we have a Twitter.
How do I at you?
I don't know.
No,
I think you just put at and then my username in the title. We're a little baby show. We're still getting. We're just crawling around on the ground of the trying to figure it out before the AI.
Sorry, I didn't tag you, man.
We have a lot of technical difficulties. Good time. It's a show. We're hanging out. We'll be back next Saturday at 8.
I think
that
so.
That seems to be a good time. Saturdays at 8. Saturday Night Live talk show.
Yeah, some of them coming up might have to change, to be honest. Just because I'm gonna have some work sometimes on the weekend where I can't make it.
Crowd hates change. They hate it. They love consistency. Oh God. No, can't believe this is happening. Oh, I can't believe it. Poor crowd. Yeah, they're back. All right, they got sucked into a wormhole for a little bit there, but they got them out. We got good producers. We got some good security on the show.
It should the stream info, you should be added in it now. So, but yeah, thanks everybody for coming out. We're gonna try to do better now that we got, you saw the videos, the song, everything today. Hopefully we'll be better about posting stuff and keeping things up to date, because we want to try to stay consistent and do it. But we got lots of things to do. But it's like we want y'all to know about it and be here, and and we plan to over time. Like we're keeping it simple for now, because it's as you see, we have problems sometimes. It's all last week. It happens. Like my whole computer shut down today. So things happen, and I don't want to start. We don't want to overload it make it too much, and it not work. But with this, we're pretty open-ended. Like we're willing to, shoot. I wouldn't mind some days come up here and do some skits, do some games, do some whatever. Might play around with some ideas.
Yep.
Do some
There's only
like
one
whose
rule of the
line
show.
is it anyway? Like games.
Oh, that'd be great. The show
Where we
show
act
only
out
has
stuff.
one rule. We break it all the time anyway. So we'll see where it goes. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Are we done?
Yeah. The rule of the show was to don't talk over me.
Oh yeah.
That was yeah.
I'm tired.
We didn't know. All right.
See y'all later.
See y'all later.